Okay.
Sweet. Cool. So we find ourselves back at the tavern. Marlon participated in some extracurricular activity. And then when you guys all came back in, there was a man who told you guys about a fort that was being under attack, right? He escaped. He was one of the guardsmen. He escaped. And with you guys took him back to the fort because you rather take it on your right. Marlon wanted to take it back himself than rely on other people, right? Um, so you guys make it back to the fort and swam underwater right into the fort, and then fought off the three bandits. One turned into a Wendigo in the middle of the battle, attacked you, and you guys survived, right? Uh, Made your way back into the fort, found the old ruler, his head crushed in with a hammer, which Marlin appropriated as alongside with his armor, right? You guys found the servants of the castle. You left them tied up in the kitchen. As you kind of gave yourselves a tour of the place, going from room to room, just making sure there was nothing left behind. You found your way into the chapel where you saw some of the predicted miseries displayed in the stained glass, and then you freed the servants, put them in their chambers, and then you all went to bed. Is that a fair summary? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Anything else you guys wanted to add to that before we?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we mentioned the weird church place we found that we went into with Renee's character. The stained glass windows, the weird stuff on the walls. Okay, yeah. So other than that, yeah. Okay.
Cool.
And then we locked the people away. Okay, yep. I think we're all good.
Awesome. Yeah, Marlon, you're in fancy robes, if I recall.
Yes,
fancy
fancy stuff. And so I have his scepter, right? I took his
That's
scepter
right.
and okay, and his breastplate.
That's right. We gave you a funky name for that scepter, right?
I think so. Yes, I forget what it was, to be honest. Because I'll let you.
The nipple rod or something like that.
The nipple rod, yeah. And then, do I get did that breastplate actually give me better AC, but better armor than?
Yeah, I would say that's a medium armor.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a what, D6? I'm looking. I think I'm a D4 because I'm leather. I'm a D2, so it's probably a D4 maybe.
Probably a minus D4, yeah, probably. Let's just double check.
Minus D4, yeah. Just let me know.
Yeah, it's a minus D4.
Minus D4. Okay, so.
And then for any agility checks, it's a plus D2 on your DR.
Okay.
Including your defense, so you're easier to hit.
Okay, so for medium, I'm easier. What is it? It's a minus what on my defense?
Oh, no, it's a plus two. Plus two
to whatever I roll. Okay.
Yeah. So normally it's a 12 to avoid damage. You need to roll 14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's terrible. All right.
Of course. Perfect. And so.
Do we and like I said, it's been a while.
Yeah.
At the beginning of a day or beginning of a game, is there something we roll? I can't remember.
You roll your omens for the day once you wake up after.
Okay, that's how it is. Okay.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
But we're not there yet. We will roll that when you wake up, but
it's not a day, not a game. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
You also roll miseries.
We're not rolling miseries on this.
Okay.
One. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. So you've all fallen asleep. And you all then start sharing the same dream. And you find yourself just kind of in a hallway. Darkness starts closing in all around you. And you see at the edge of the hallway a single blinding light. And the hallway starts becoming shrouded with shadows, and it starts looking like a tunnel, and it like transforms from a hallway with like normal decor, and like you can see like the oil paintings on the wall. There's candelabras, kind of on the sconces on the walls, but that all kind of starts being overtaken by these shadows into like a tunnel, and you see that blinding light at the end. You feel the hairs on your back of your neck start to rise, like there's something here with you, and you get the sensation that you need to run. So you start running towards the light, like that's your escape. As you're running down this hallway that doesn't seem to end, something is behind you. It's coming, whatever that is. You feel it coming towards you, and you start feeling kind of like the hot breath behind you as that thing gets closer and closer. The light's coming closer, but as it's coming closer, that hot breath, you feel that presence behind you gets just equally as closer to you. And as you reach the doorway where that light is coming from, you're bathed in light. And a gloved hand reaches through that light, through that illumination, wraps their hand around your face, and you're pitched into darkness. You snap awake. You wake up from the bed. You're all drenched in sweat. You feel parched and groggy, more so than you would after a regular night's worth of sleep. You kind of just like look around you, and you look at your body, and you're both in separate rooms, right? Because Marlon took the kind of like the owner's room, and then Cuts, you took one of the guest rooms. And you look at yourself, and on your right forearm there are puncture marks with dried blood around them. Around your ears there's dried blood kind of coming out of the ear hole. And as you look around the room, nothing particularly has changed, but there are puddles of fluid in the room. Kind of you can see like the wetness on the bed and onto the floor. And you can see like the trail of that liquid is leading out of your doors, but your doors are closed. What do you guys do?
So leaking out like under the door. Let's
Under
look.
the-
I see the door. Yeah. Okay. I grab my warhammer and Cuts. He's missing a couple of toes. I awkwardly tiptoe to the door in my room.
Marlon grabs his sword and goes to that little small box, opens it up, and pulls out his poison dagger, the dagger that probably was aged in poisons for so long that it's kind of baked into the blade, and other toxins, and does the same thing, slowly walks towards the door with both weapons in hand, and just stands there at the door, doesn't open it, and is probably extremely fearful, and just listens at the door, like doesn't even put his ear to it, but just to see if anything seems like anything's on the other side. That's what he's doing right now.
So both of you then give me a presence check.
Dirty 20. Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Marlon got a 10.
Perfect. All right. So you both hear a whistling behind a door. Just kind of the kind of whistling that someone would like someone would do when they're at work. Just kind of something to bide the time as they're doing work. And Cuts, you hear a little bit extra. You hear kind of a scrubbing sound, as like because the floors are all carpeted, right? Um, you hear kind of like something rubbing against the floor, like outside of the door. It's not
Only
you.
Cuts hears that, right?
Only Cuts hears that part, right? Yeah, you
Yeah.
both hear the whistling.
And we're in separate rooms, correct? Yeah.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
How much? Before I ask about the sound, just out of curiosity, how much blood did I? Obviously I got my stuff, but what about at the door?
You don't see blood. You see a fluid.
Oh, okay. I'm
Is
sorry.
it like clear, like
Yeah.
water? Like
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So okay.
And if you were to grab it, it
Glad I asked.
has it's clear like water, but it kind of has like a little bit of stickiness to it, like
Viscosity of like
Yeah.
oil or something. Mm.
kind of
Okay.
like not gelatin, but like kind of like oil, I would say. Like if you like move your fingers apart, it kind of like sticks.
But it's
Kinda has,
sticky.
like,
Yeah. Okay. Sticky. Okay.
Do I smell anything?
There is no smell to this.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I just hear like okay. Oh, good grief. Can I peek out the keyhole? If there is a keyhole.
Yeah, totally.
If there is. Okay.
Yeah.
Marlon will put his dagger, sheath the dagger, keep the sword out, and then slowly, with one hand, start opening the door and looking into the hallway, peeking into the hallway.
Yeah. So, Cuts, from your perspective,
Yeah.
excuse me, from your perspective, because you're looking out of a peephole, you kind of just see in front. And we'll just say that you see a doorway opening, which would be Marlon's room.
Across the way.
A door across the way. Marlon,
Okay.
because you're opening and kind of peeking through
Mm-hmm.
the kind of like the slit, you actually see one of the servants that you liberated earlier in the evening, kind of with kind of like a mop,
Mm-hmm.
wiping away at the floor, and you hear that the whistling is coming from him, and he's just kind of like whistling as he works, just kind of just, I have work to do and I'm just killing the time whistling.
What the fuck are you doing here, sir? And why are you not in your quarters? Did we not Cuts? I just go Cuts. Did we not lock you away?
I immediately, in my defensive stance, go open the door and just come out like a whole like sniffling. What? What's going on?
This man is cleaning the hallway, and I don't know if you would call whatever this is on the floor. He points to he's like cleaning. But I am perplexed. Didn't we lock you away? Talking to the man.
Yeah.
How did you get out of your quarters?
And so the man turns around to you, and he kind of has this huge, malicious grin, right? His smile is a little too wide, wider than you remembered, right?
Yeah.
You guys obviously also didn't see them smiling, right? It was a different
No.
kind of environment, but he is smiling. His smile is a little too wide, and his teeth are a little too big. And
Oh no.
he looks at you, and he says, "You let us out of the room earlier, and so we're just doing our duties." And he kind of points at the floor, and you see that there's that trail of liquid that's coming out of both your rooms and from Renee's room is kind of like kind of permeating that hallway, and that's what he's cleaning. He's cleaning that.
Your duties, you do this often?
Well, my job is to take care of the messes. Just upkeep the forts, and there was a mess here, so I had to clean it, my lords.
Marlon kind of drags the blade through that. ichor. And as he kind of pulls it up and sees a bit of slime, he goes, "And this is normal?"
And he kind of walks towards kind of like you, and he
"Stay
goes,
there, sir." And he brings the blade up like chest level.
it's like,
We
well,
we can see his
Yeah,
this
the smile
odd
is
grin.
off.
yeah, he's
And Marlon keeps glancing at Cuts, like kind of like, "Do you see this shit?" Like, eyes are like super wide, like, "I'm not buying any of this."
Guts is still waking up, but he's clearly aware of it. He's like, the Warhammer's coming back up. Like, and his hands starting to go towards Marlon, like, let's move back a little, baby. Something's not right here.
and he kind of chuckles. He was like, I no need to be alarmed. Someone made a mess, and kind of like leans over and like looks into your room, Marlon. And goes like, I mean, I guess maybe you're responsible for it. You should have just let me know, and I would have cleaned it for you. And he kind of like shows you like his mop, like, I'll do this for you. I'll clean it.
Do you think I made this mess, or do I look like some gushing whore? That no, I did not do this.
Of course, my lord. Sorry, my pardons. And he kind of like eyes downcast and kind of takes a step away, like he doesn't mean, it's a servant with the Lord, right? He offended you. My apologies.
Can you leave us to speak with my bodyguard here?
Cuts like, that kind of rolls his eyes.
Yeah, I'll wait by the landing. And he kind of takes like 3 steps back, because you remember those it's not like an actual ladder. It's kind of like it's not stairs. It's an actual
Okay, it's a
ladder with like a kind of like a hole through it,
Yeah.
connecting all the rooms. Yeah, so he kind of just like stands by the ladder at the end of the hallway.
And then I beckon Cuts to like come to my room, like just to stand like in the doorway. We're still trying to like watch him, like where he's at, but
right. Okay, this is weird.
I believe I have been molested in my sleep. I show him the bite marks or the stained blood on my arm.
Yeah, they wouldn't be bite marks.
No,
they're like they're just like they're just
punctures,
holes.
holes
punctures,
in my
just
hand.
punctures. Yep.
And there's only one. There's 2, or there's one.
There's one. Yeah.
Okay, one.
So
okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay. So I fear that whatever, I don't know what foul play is afoot here. But this man has done something to me. I look at this, and
well, Cuts kind of like, I woke up and there's all these, and you say no marks, DM, right?
Yeah.
Just blood. We don't know where it came from.
Well, Mark's like, so you have punctures, like you
There
have
are punctures,
a
okay.
Punctures.
you
So I
have
wanna
a
make
puncture. You both have the same puncture on your right forearm with
Maybe
dried blood around it,
We
and then
compare it.
some
It's the
dried
same.
blood around your ears. But that's all you have that you see visible.
now I know the character. I know he's not here, but Cyrus is actually who Renee is. We would want to wake Cyrus and see if he has the same thing. I don't know if he's maybe sleeping somewhere else.
I was actually going to say that. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember
Cyrus,
he was like burying the bodies, but later when we ended the episode.
Yeah, so Cyrus is actually he did go to sleep in the same room with you. But his room is closed. I mean, not the same room, but the same floor.
Same
Sorry.
floor. Okay.
Yeah, but his room door is closed.
Okay.
So there hasn't been any movement from there.
Shoot.
Let's go, Cyrus. I just got like whisper a couple times to see if he
Let's check on the priest.
and rap on his door.
And as you rap on the door kind of like just kind of opens a little bit.
It gives me the creeps.
You
go first.
Yeah. He can be creepy, but he has kept me alive this long, and unlike you when you were dried up like a prune in the forest. He said- he gives a little chuckle like he's fucking with you, and then like
Yeah.
pushes the door in. Uh, I don't know what we see, but he pretty much fully opens the door and stands in the doorway with the blade, the short sword
Perfect.
out.
Yeah. So what you see when you open that door is a similar situation to what you both woke up to, right?
Mhm.
You see there's a liquid on the floor. Um, you look at Cyrus; he's still in the bed.
Okay.
He still has a puncture wound, just like you. Still some dried blood coming out of his ear, just like you guys. But the difference between his room and yours is that while you guys had that clear, like viscosity liquid, pooling around your beds, he has blood on his like on the
Mm.
floor, leading to his bed.
Oh shit.
Um, yeah,
I think Marlon would rush in and check the body, like kind of look over him before touching, but probably would eventually just start to see if he is like wounded beyond the bite, like beyond the puncture, to see whether if it's his blood or someone else's blood.
got it. Okay,
Mhm.
so two things. One, as you're kind of walking from where your room, where you guys were conversing, going into Cyrus's room, you look at because you're keeping an eye on
Mhm.
the janitor, right, the guy who's cleaned the floor, right? And so as he's just kind of standing there, he's respecting you. He's not making a move or anything like that. But as he's waiting, you guys see him, and he like licks his lips, like does like the creepy like licking the bottom and like the top
Oh.
of his lips as he's
We
waiting. He's not
we both
looking
seen
at you.
that.
He's not looking at you directly. He's kind of like eyes cast down, but you see him like licking his lips. And so as you go into um, Cyrus's room, add 2 stress to both of you. So keep that on your count.
There's no music supposed to be playing, right, DM? Just
Nope, not
okay.
right now.
Cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
All right. Okay. So okay. So you see him lick his lips,
Yep.
and then but still don't. In terms of my question about knowing where the blood is coming,
Right.
is
Yeah.
it
So with Cyrus's body, his body looks exactly like yours does.
okay?
The only difference
It
in
says
it is that if you're taking, you're kind of like, what are you doing to his?
I imagine I'm giving them a once over and glancing, and if I can't make it, if I can't see it from what like I see blood on the floor, but are his sheets covered in blood? Like if he's covered, I
Yeah.
would probably want to pull those
Good
off
question.
to look at the body, to
Yeah.
examine it further. I'm not like moving him around and grabbing him, but I'm like I want to expect to see if he essentially like I imagine I rushed in because I think he's dead. If I see all that blood, I'm thinking I want to check to see if he, and I don't, it's medieval, so I'm not checking for a pulse. I'm just trying to see like I'm gonna put my hand to see if I feel breathing, kind of doing one of those things.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. So you kind of because like for you guys, that sweat that you guys woke up with kind of blended in with that clear liquid that you found on the floor. For him, it's very similar. But again, it's blood. So there is blood on the floor. You see some blood marks kind of like on the side of the bed, right? Like kind of like it started at the top and it kind of like dripped down onto the floor. So there is more blood coming from his body vicinity, right, than you guys had. You guys just had a clear liquid. He had actual blood.
Do we
Yeah.
see like with the blood? Do we see like maybe like you said it's medieval, but do we see like maybe like hand marks with the blood or something, or fingerprints or marks or something like that? Like
Yeah.
there's a
So if you guys like, I'm just gonna assume you guys are taking off the sheets just to see kind of
just
what's going
checking,
on.
yeah.
Yeah. So there's blood on his clothing. Like it's just kind of like seeping from. It feels like a wound. Like it might seem like a wound, but if you pull that shirt up and look at his body, there is no wound. It's just kind of like there's blood on his clothing. And with all this kind of like movement to see what the hell is going on with him, you find yourself realizing that his body hasn't moved. Like there's no breath in his body. And you assume that Cyrus is passed. Something happened in the night that affected all of you, but it affected Cyrus more heavily than it affected the two of you.
Shit.
What's going on, Marlon?
Shit.
And did you see the servant?
I think we need to call a meeting of all the servants, or please calm me down and tell me if possibly I'm starting to think maybe I don't need servants, and
At least these ones.
at least these. And I say, kind of start to slowly peer over my shoulder at the man standing in the hallway smiling. Marlon doesn't even know what to say. He's just looking at him right now, staring, waiting for Cuts to give some direction. As much as Marlon thinks he's a leader, I think in these moments is when he seizes up. What do I do, Cuts? What do we do?
Hey, so Cuts calls out to the servant. Did he say his name?
Yeah, he hasn't.
Nope, you guys haven't asked him yet.
Yeah. What's your name again?
My name is Elias.
Elias. Where's the rest of the the servants, the work, the people who run this place? Where are they?
Well, after you let us free from the rooms, we all went back to work. So there'll be, I mean, some of us work at night and some of us work in the day. So some are sleeping and some are down in the kitchens working. And I was doing the rounds, just cleaning up the aftermath.
The aftermath, Elias?
Aftermath.
Aftermath of
Thank you.
fucking what? You seem to be smiling while my friend here
Is he still
bled
smiling?
out and dead.
No, the way he's talking is not a happy talk. Like he's not cheerful.
Okay.
He has a smile on
He
his
has a
face.
weird, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
He's like
fucking like it.
the aftermath of our Lord's death. Our and he looks at you and he like bows and he's like, our previous Lord's death. I mean, there was still blood and other things left behind. So I cleaned that first, and then I started doing the rounds and I found this mess. And so I started cleaning that too.
Did we not save you, Elias?
Yes, Lord, you did.
Do you think this priest deserved this?
Deserve what, my Lord?
Do you see the blood? And he kind of like steps back. This man has been bled dry in his sleep. Someone came into my room. Someone has tampered with both of us. You need to start speaking. I'm giving you an opportunity here as your new lord. Think this might be a great opportunity for you to get a promotion. Help us better understand and help me temper my wrath.
And he kind of like looks over into the room that you've kind of made way for him. He's like, my Lord, I've only been to this hallway. I had no idea there was a mess in your rooms. I'll gladly clean all of it, but I haven't stepped foot in any of the rooms yet.
Cuts is like nodding his head like he's had it, like he has it all figured out, and he immediately looks over at Marlon. I think he's part of the cult. Mm-hmm. What's with the smile? What's with the smile? He hawks like a big one on the side. Clean that up.
And immediately, so as you say that, he kind of like is shocked into action and steadily walks with, he has that mop in his hand, and he walks over to, he's like, yes, of course. And he starts kind of like scrubbing, and you hear that noise that Cuts you heard earlier, like that of like that, the rubbing on the carpet, right?
With the mop.
Rubbing the carpet that you heard earlier as he was like scrubbing. He's like, yes, of course. And as he's like scrubbing away, you see the two of you that his face starts transforming, and there's where before there was like this just this malicious grin. That's all that was kind of like off on him. His face starts turning into like a mass of like writhing like snakes and worms.
Marlon will pull his dagger and try to stab him in the throat. And I say this because I was going to kill this man.
Yep.
Almost anyway.
Yep.
It
Yep.
did sound that way.
Seeing it, it's like he's gonna try.
Yep. Go for it. So
And I have 2 stress points. So what does that do to the roll?
nothing yet.
Nothing. Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I thought I was gonna be rolling like a minus. Oh, I'm so scared to look at this. Oh shit! It's a nat 20.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. With my what is it? It's strength, and I would have added a. Wow. I forgot where your stats are. So I would have added a 3. So it would have been a 23.
Okay. So roll your damage. What do you got?
Oh yeah. What is so far? I'm tripping. So and it's with the dagger. So it's a D4.
Yep.
And 3.
A 3. Okay. So as you both watching him cuts. Actually, we'll take it from your perspective. You're watching him kind of with disgust as like he's just kind of like scrubbing at the at the floor with like where you spit. And as he's doing that, Marlon walks past you. And Marlon, you have a dagger, right? That's the weapon.
Yeah. I imagine it's this very quick, like he tries to grab him and just, it's like he's really angry because I think that he's in a lot of pain from Cyrus being dead, because Cyrus like helped him survive that whole like mansion and the thing that they experienced.
There's a bond there.
Yeah. He's psychotic right now. It's just like full rage.
and Cuts, I have to throw this in. Cuts kind of more like reacts to like surprise by Marlon's sudden attack. Like
it's Marlon when he was in the arena fight or flight, and when he stabbed the guy. It's that Marlon.
Yeah, no, you guys piece that together perfectly because like Cuts, you're looking at this guy working, right? Scrubbing the floor. Marlon kind of like pushes you to the side as he like goes in for like the stab. Cuts, you look at him with that face you made exactly. and in a split second that the servant right looks in your direction, caught off guard. He's like, like you see him, and as he turns, like that his face is a mass of like worms and snakes, just kind of like this. You hear like that squishy noise of just like that, like all these like massive kind of like phalange looking things on his face, and Marlon stabs him, and he just utters like and falls to the floor. And as he falls and he hits the ground, you notice that when you look again, his face is human. That smile is gone. Those teeth are gone. The worms and the snakes are all gone. It's just a servant, and now he looks exactly like the servant that you rescued earlier.
No.
And you all take 1 stress point and do a panic attack. So roll 2d10, and if it's higher than your stress point, which I think should be 3 for both of you.
Yeah, it's 3.
Okay. If you're higher, then you succeed, and you remove 1 stress point from your totals.
Wait, I have to roll 2d10 and add them
2d10,
together.
Add them together. Yep.
And if it's higher, I'm okay. Or if it's higher,
if it's higher, you're okay.
Okay, got it.
Both okay.
16.
Okay, so you both remove 1 stress from your pool right now.
2.
Okay,
yeah.
No, Marlon seems convinced that what he's saying is real, and he kind of leans over the guy, and I think just kind of stands over him and shanks him a couple of more times. Like fuck, I think Cuts might see it like almost like Marlon might be like breaking a bit.
Yep.
It's just like I'm gonna make sure if there's a demon here, he's got to be gone.
Okay, that's just like, are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Turns around with a bloody face.
You saw that too, right?
We both saw it. That means I'm not crazy.
But yeah.
Shit. Well,
But the blood's still on us, so that's not.
If there's one thing I've learned about this world, it's either them or us. And so he killed my friend. Good riddance. Or I don't know what to believe.
We should have probably not let the others see this.
Yeah. And if there's a carpet, I'll clearly roll him in it.
With the feet sticking out in the end. We do that. Not the most noble people, but not the worst either.
No.
Not the worst either, though. Yeah. Yeah.
Just what I've been doing is every time Marlon kills someone, I would add a point to like it's my own like personal like psychotic meter to like see where see how fragile his mind is.
I mean, if you want to challenge yourself, you can add yourself a stress point because
Nice. I will. I'll give myself I went down from 3 to 2, right?
right.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
two.
So you're both
Yeah.
at 2. Yeah.
Okay. I'll stay at 2 because I'll believe that like because Cut saw it, I feel like that resolve is me feeling like, okay, I'm not crazy, right?
We both saw it.
Since we both saw it.
Okay. Yeah.
It's illusions or mind things like this that he looks back at the room and he's like,
Do I think
we
we
really need Cyrus. What were you gonna say?
You think I killed an innocent man?
If he was someone, probably a cult, played sorcery on us.
Yes. No,
And it's there. The blood's on their hands. There.
fair enough.
You see, Cut kind of like settle with that in his
Yeah.
mind. Like that's the
Fair
reality of it. Like, yeah.
Marlon just kind of kicks the roll up with the feet sticking out. Like, all right. Well, we have to make sure no one else comes in these quarters. I don't think I'll be sleeping anytime soon.
Yeah.
Do we round up the rest of them? What should we do?
Well, we didn't see that on any of our faces, right? Right, GM?
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't.
Jim, can you also remind us of any other places on the grounds that we would know to go to or think would be?
Yeah. So there's I'll give you guys a recap. So you guys it's like metagame, but you're in tower number 2, right? That's the metagame aspect. So on the 4th floor of that, there was the storeroom.
There's the
was
shit
nothing in.
tower with the. Sorry.
Yeah, there's a shit tower. Yeah.
That's right.
Hold on. Lower this music a little bit. It's a little loud for me. All right. So on the tower that you're on, the 4th floor has a storeroom. The 3rd floor has a library.
Okay.
You're on the 2nd floor. And then the 1st floor has the kitchen. That's where you guys had the servants all around, right? And then in between the first tower and tower 2 and tower 1 is kind of like the main building, and that has the dining area where you guys found the dead body of the previous lord, and the chapel. They're going to be on the ground floor, right?
Mhm.
Tower 1 will have the shit room, right? And then on the 2nd floor, you have the servants' quarters. The 3rd floor, when you guys went there, that one just had like debris, because on the 4th floor was a hole. Like when you guys got up there, it was just kind of like half it was kind of like the floor was missing, and it was exposed to the elements, like, and that exposure reached into the 3rd floor. So the 3rd floor had some boxes and stuff, but not really like anything.
Marlon would probably get chills and like goosebumps, and then slowly turn to Cuts and go, he said someone let them out.
I know. I noticed that too. I guess it wasn't you. It wasn't me.
And it definitely wasn't Cyrus here. Whatever god he worshipped, rest his soul.
He makes like an upside down.
Yeah.
He goes, I don't know what it means, but I saw him do it. So, I was like, I don't
Perfect.
They both do it.
know.
So I imagine maybe we should go, but I think we could gotta go see where the rest of these people that are let out. But I would probably be moving extremely slowly and stealthily. But
I
unless
will do.
Cut says
No. Let's. I think that's our best option right now. Let's let's close the door
yeah.
on Cyrus. We'll deal with him later. Oh, and he looks at the body. Let's put him in my room real quick in the meantime, and then we'll get rid of him. And so we roll him up and with the feet rolling on the end of the carpet.
Yeah, totally. Looney Tunes him into the into the room. Right. So now that you guys you cleared the hallway of this, called it the accident. Where do you guys want to go? Are you going up or are you going down to find more servants? What direction are you guys headed? So up
It's the
Go ahead.
library.
and down is the kitchen.
Are there any signs that any of that ichors come from upstairs? I know that it might seem a little stretch, but or even going down. Is there any on the ladder as we approach it?
Okay, yeah. So give me a presence check for
Presence.
yeah.
Yep.
Can I do that too?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, because I'm assuming you're both kind of creeping into the
13.
No, 4. No.
or okay. So you don't find any ichor, anything or blood, right? Of that leading in any direction, either up or down. But Marlon, you do hear noise coming from the kitchen. So there is some activity happening downstairs.
Yeah. I think that's where he would be going to see what's going on with the rest of the folks. Probably trying to get himself together and try not to approach these the same way, but to be on guard and to be ready for anything. And so, he'd probably start to descend.
I agree. Cuts would think the same thing. Eric Miles wants to do the library, but Cuts wants to do the kitchen.
I think I want
the kitchen.
I want to do the library too. I don't know if Marlon. I think I might check the kitchen first and then maybe go back to the library. But
That's what Cuts would do.
Yeah.
There you go. So,
Perfect. Yeah. Cool. So, you guys said you're kind of stealthily or slowly kind of making your way down the ladder, right? Cool. So you guys make your way down the ladder as quietly as you can, and as you descend, you see earlier you may not remember this, but in the kitchen there was this huge like hearth with like a roaring fire, and then against the wall, right? And then in the middle of the room there was this large table for like food prep, right? And the last time you were there earlier that evening, there was a huge kind of like pork just kind of on the top of the table, unattended, right? Because all the servants were tied up, but it was just kind of like standing there, and so, or not standing, but kind of on the table. And so as you guys make your way down the ladder and you look at the room, the fire is still roaring, the pig is still on the table, but there are two of the servants are kind of with their backs towards you, cutting at the pork, and you hear them as they're kind of like working, and you see them like with these cleavers just shunk cutting at this meat. And as they do that, you hear like that crunch of like bone and skin and fat and flesh just kind of like cutting as they kind of like just hanging through it. But these two servants are singing a song as they work, and as they work you hear them singing. They are singing, eat a cow, cause it's good for you. Eat a cow, cause it's the thing that goes moo. Look at all the cows in the slaughterhouse yard. Gotta hit them real hard. And like they're just like, like after every beat, it's just like chunk, like they're kind of like timing that song with like these cuts to the pig. It's not a cow, but it's still the same. Because first you gotta clean them up, then the butcher cuts them up, throw it on a scale, then throw its eyes in a cup. All you add one stress and make a sanity save with that song.
Oh shit!
All right, so
all right.
we're at 3 now, right? 3 stress.
3. Yep. And what's this? What's the sanity? Is that a? Is it a
2d10? 2d10.
Oh, that's 2d10.
Is that thing? Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
I think it's at 13.
Okay.
12.
Yep, cool. So yeah, so it doesn't affect you. I mean, it can creep you out as much as it can, but it
Yeah.
doesn't actually like mentally affect you. And so yeah, so they're singing this song. They don't know that you're in this room yet, but they're kind of just, you see them with this cleaver just kind of chopping at this. It's a larger than normal pig. It's like a huge animal, and they're just like chopping at it, and you hear all this crunch as they're just like, as that blade makes contact with like the skin, the fat, and then like the wood of like the tabletop. So right now you're in that room. You're undetected. So what do you guys want to do?
Do we leave them here? Should we? I Cuts. I want to be honest. Can we trust our senses? These people seemed normal earlier, and now I feel like they're all cultists and they all need to die.
I'm not gonna lie, I am. You see Cuts like kind of like jerk a little bit,
Yeah.
and he says, "They're actually creeping me the fuck out."
Yeah. Same.
And they did it the other day.
Yes.
These are different people than who we liberated.
Do you want to take one and I take the other? Or
and this singing, they seem really jolly. That's the only word I can think of.
Yeah, they're like just like the janitor before. It's kind of like I'm working through this, kind of like I'm working and I'm killing time and I'm singing a song to help pass the time, like kind of like the
Oh, whistle while you work.
Exactly, or like the chain gang kind of songs, like I'm doing something to kill time, right? Like as I'm working through this job that I have.
what time in the morning is it? Is it sun still?
Good question.
I imagine it's still like. Is it still dark? Is it?
It's still dark. Yep.
Okay. Maybe we should restrain them, tie them up. I am so trying to not be irrational here.
And they're not aware of us. They're just full on boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
yeah. Like you see them, like they're cutting like pieces. Like one of them is like cutting, like you see, like they cut the leg, right, like complete into pieces, and they kind of like scrape it to the side, and they start working on other parts. And the other one's like slicing like the nose off, and like they're totally butchering this pig into like cuts of meat that would be edible or presentable on a plate. Yeah.
Oh, what if we're? I mean, this is similar to the guy upstairs. What if this is? I don't want to take that chance. He pulls out his warhammer.
Oh shit!
but he kind of looks at Barlin. He hasn't charged, but he's kind of like,
Since Parlin passed his sanity check, I guess I'm trying to like give him reason to, because Malcolm has killed them all. I think it's like Malcolm is like, these motherfuckers need to die.
Yeah.
I either try to find out why I can talk to them, I can order them to stop, maybe send them back to their rooms, or we can sneak past them, we can move on, or we can just end this and continue rolling up the carpet.
And then cuts actually kind of chuckles for a second, and then he clears up a phlegm gem right there, and he kind of goes like a quiet lady goes, "I'll tell you, why don't we, so we don't repeat the same mistake, you start talking, and if we sense anything, we charge before we can." Okay, so weapons ready.
Fine servants making a breakfast. I can smell it upstairs. Smells delightful.
Right, and so these two.
I still have my dagger in my hand. He's kind of like twirling it, just like holding it.
Yeah. So these servants, they both turn around, and they have that same smile as the man upstairs, the servant upstairs had it, the janitor. And they're like, "Oh, my lords," and they kind of both bow to the both of you, and they said, "It's awful late, but did you care for a piece of pork?"
Quite full from early in the evening, although it smells delightful. I don't like to. I think it's good to wait till the sun comes up. You know, the ham. I usually like my ham with a little bit of eggs. Have you all tended to the hens outside, or are there hens on the property?
Oh no, sir. We let them. We let their call let us know when they're ready.
Mm, yes, yes.
Hmm.
It looks like you've chopped that quite well. What is your next order of work for the day? Provided this looks scrumptious.
And then, go ahead.
No,
Cuts.
go ahead. I'll say that after. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. So they kind of like they look at their blades, and you see them kind of like it's like a longing look at the blade, like this is like they're just looking down at it, like
Yeah.
once we're done here, we uh we'll get our we'll put these into storage. Yes, storage. We'll take these down to the basement. Um, and yes.
I think you're good. Why don't you go? Can you put those down now? And actually, quite fine looking butcher blades. I actually know a thing or two about them. Can you mind passing them over to us?
Of course, my lord, whatever you require. And they kind of flip it on its side and put the handle out to you. And as they walk towards you, you feel a presence. Like it's like every step they take, their smile, like their faces are all smiles. But every step they take, you feel like someone's putting their hands on your shoulder, and like as they step towards you, it like a little bit more weight pushes in, and they walk towards you and they go, "My lord," and they hand the blade out to you.
Marlon, with a shaky hand, will reach out and grasp it, and if he doesn't feel any tension, he will also start to speak to whichever one he's holding, and say, "By the way, I am a big fan of my breakfast is having quindleberries. Not sure if you've heard of them, but they're in these parts, right outside the compound gates. I think we should usher them to the exterior and show them outside of the walls, looking at cuts, like where these might be, and maybe around 10. You know, we'll you for the next couple hours. We'd love for you to go gather some." He looks around for a basket, like a pot or something. He goes, grabs whatever he can. He's like,
Yeah, you
"Can
find like a pan. Yeah, like
Yeah,
for
he's
cooking.
like,
Yeah.
and he like swaps the butcher knife for whatever he can give this guy or this lady.
Yeah. And what was that song you were singing? That was interesting.
Yeah. Oh well, that's just a song, my lords, to kill the time.
um, okay.
Well, what is? We've never heard of this berry. What did you call it? I'm sorry, my lord.
It's a quindleberry.
Quinto. What is it? If that's your request, we will definitely
Yes.
aim to please. But what does it look like?
Um, it's small blue little patches that grow strangely near swampish areas like this. You might find them along the river outside. But I noticed when I walked around earlier, there were none within the walls. So why don't we start heading that way? So he pockets the butcher knife.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Of course, my lord. Yes. And so they'll kind of take this kind of ghetto basket you gave them of a pan, and they start kind of walking out of the kitchen into
Yeah.
the dining area.
Yeah.
And nothing in the dining area.
Okay.
And you see, true to his word, the janitor did clean up the blood smear of the
Oh.
previous lord. That's been removed from the area, and so you make it outside into the courtyard kind of area.
If that looks clear, then if unless anything happens on the way, we would walk. I would, unless Ketsa says anything, I'll be walking them to that gate, opening it up, and sending them out into the darkness for the tow, and telling them to come back. And then if there was a latch, we'd be latching it.
Okay, yeah. And so you send out these two servants whose names you never asked or never cared.
Nope,
but
don't
sent them out
care.
into the wild to find these elusive quindleberries. And
I look at Scott's like, they don't exist.
Oh, that was quick thinking. Go ahead. All right, let's keep going.
It's that A2R symmetrical shot of them just
yeah.
in that row. We leave them out there.
Yeah. You see, kind of like if you watch The Witch, like through like the hole in the fence, you see these two bodies just kind of walking out into the swampland.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Yeah. With this
Great
pan,
movie.
with a pan for for a basket.
As Cuts is watching them off, he looks at his warhammer and it kind of disappears in his cloak, and then he chucks off his crossbow and he says, "I'm better with this," and kind of loads it.
At least we didn't have to kill them. Hopefully the wolves won't. And maybe did you feel them? Did you feel it when they came close?
Cuts kind of stares at Marlin for a second. He's like, "You felt that too." I'm telling you, Marlin. There's some cultish sorcery around here.
Absolutely. I have a feeling it's on them. It's not their fault, but they are quite possessed, and if we have to kill them, we must. But
one of the servants, at least one, is responsible. Who knows? They all might be a partner. We don't know.
If we must purge them all, then I am for it. Anything to survive.
What killed Cyrus?
They did kill Cyrus. Something killed Cyrus. And punctured my fine fair skin. As he kind of wipes his arm. Let us move on.
Let's move on.
So as you make your way back into the dining room area, right? That's kind of so I want both of you to take 2 stress, no panic check, but you do take 2 stress. And I'm gonna use the restroom real quick, so we'll take a quick 2-second break.
Okay.
All right.
So how many stress do you have, Marlon? Yeah.
I have 5. Does that seem right?
I think so. That sounds right.
No, but wait, we went up to 3. When I
thought
that
we had
check,
4.
then does that bring it down again?
To 2, yep.
Then
and then you added
4.
3. You added 1 for going downstairs, and then 2 for going.
Oh, I missed. That's the one I missed.
Oh, I missed the one for going downstairs. Okay, so we're at 5.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Give me a second. I'll be right back.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll grab some water.
Yeah, I'll probably do some too. It's a scary ass game. Not.
Yeah, you're creeping me out. What the hell? My first game back, and you creep me out.
Yeah, super creepy, man. Like these people, but I feel like it's one of those games. I'm gonna end up we are the ones massacring everyone. It's gonna be that game.
And it's always never intentional. It's always like, oh crap,
damn it. we're the monsters, right? Like
this is the best game, dude.
It is.
I love it. It's so good. All right, I'll be right back.
Yep. See you.
Malcolm, if you want to be creeped the fuck out, check out the text I sent you.
Oh, sorry. I was sitting here talking, realized I'm on mute.
It's all
That's
good.
creepy.
Yeah. Capture after image.
Oh, that's so strange. like it's like the room, but I'm not there.
Yeah. It's like your perfect size and everything. Just
That is like this, like a ghost shape.
yeah.
Was that after we like took a break? Like,
Yeah. When I came back, I was like, what is that?
So I wasn't in the room, but it like had my shape still. Like,
yeah.
dude, that's weird.
Yeah.
Bro, I don't know if I think about that because you're talking about this aura. Like, I wasn't here, so how was that still on the screen?
No idea.
Bro, might have been playing Borg for a little bit. Oh no. Oh man.
Those stress levels, man. Adding up.
For real. That is not cool.
Eric, I text you a
But I
Malcolm.
missed.
I text you a Malcolm. I said that's creepier than anything I can come up with.
Oh no,
on
man.
Borg. I came back from my
I wasn't there, dude.
I came back from the break and Malcolm's image was still on his.
I actually saw that briefly.
Yeah.
It's like
Bro.
you're.
Yeah, but I had gone downstairs, so like, why is like, what? How is the Zoom still registering like something there? That's weird.
That's creepy. That.
Cool.
I don't know if
No, go for it. Yeah, go.
I was saying like so. By the way, also I just found out about this movie called Antrim. It's on Amazon Prime, and supposedly the movie's about these little kids, these little boy and little girl who are trying to bring their dog back to life. And to do it, what they're trying to do is dig a hole to hell so that the dog's spirit can escape. But the movie, it's supposed to be a 70s film. I've done enough research to realize it's not, but evidently the marketing has been so good. The marketing campaign around the movie, like when you watch the trailer, is like the first 10 or 15 minutes of the movie itself is a documentary. But supposedly people die when they watch this movie Antrim, and so a lot of people say that's the play on the marketing. So even myself, I have not convinced myself to watch it because the idea that you're supposed to be able to you're supposed to die if you watch it.
When did it come out?
It's on Amazon Prime right now to watch for free. It came out, I think it released a couple years ago or a year ago or something like that.
What's it called?
It's called Antrim, Antrum. And it has this weird demon Baphomet. Like, after you guys watch it, if you guys are cool, let me know. But check it out. I was actually kind of wigged out when
I'm like, I'll watch it, and you don't hear back. You don't hear back from me. Where's Eric?
And supposedly, these really interesting ways where they incorporate demonic stuff. So when you watch it kind of weirds you out because there's stuff in the shot. There's and yeah, it's just super weird. That's the point of the movie, but I hear that it's really creepy. But the lore around them. So supposedly in the 70s, when the film was shown in the theater that it was shown in burned down, and 56 people died in that showing, and then another 37 people died when it was shown somewhere else. And so it's supposed to be just the most deadliest movie ever made.
That sounds amazing. So there's this book that both Eric and I have read called House of Leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And it's much like that, right?
I've read House of Leaves as well.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Renee. Sorry, Renee.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Sorry, Renee has read House of Leaves.
House of Leaves is great.
And it's like that, right? Where it's they filmed a documentary of a house, and people who study it go insane, and it's just.
That's one of the creepiest books I've ever read.
Yeah. 100%.
But it's such an experience. It's such.
Yeah.
I can't describe it.
Yeah.
There's
moments where I would literally sit up and look around the room, right? Just kind of be am I okay? Keep reading.
Yeah, it's a book that cannot work and Audible. It
Mhm.
can't work on Kindle, or
Yep.
you have to have the book. It's like
Yep.
the one that's like, and
So true.
it's so creepy.
And you're
Yeah, I
doing
feel like
this.
it could be a movie, but it would have to be so meticulously like done
Yeah.
that
It's
it
hard
has
to
to be
do.
a perfectionist, like a perfectionist of a director to like bring that to life
Yeah.
in a visual format, in like a film visual. Anyways, like
As a movie buff, I almost would like Eric would believe that it can't be done. But I stand to be, you know.
I can see Alan Moore in the corner going, "That's right, that's
Yeah.
right, that's right." I was like, "It can't be done with his big beard. It can't be done." And I was like,
Man, I don't know. It's so creepy. So yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it could. I should.
No. I never say never, but I think that like in my mind, I would be blown away by someone who can pull it off, right?
There's-
like
yeah.
There's certain things that can go in various mediums, and that's like it's so unique. That's the right word. It's unique. It's like you need the paper, you need the tome, you need the.
You would almost have to make the movie non-traditional film, and then I think what would happen is it would be really good, but a lot of people would not watch it, right? So it would have to almost be like you'd have to have a movie within the movie. You might almost have multiple. You might have like 2 or 3 films that are all interconnected, right? That you watch, and it would almost be like 3 films that as you watch them, you would have to really get this. You might have to stop the movie and go to the other movie and like watch it from here, and then like stop, and then go. You'd have to do some, because that's how the book is. It's a puzzle. You'd have to really play with. So very,
yeah, I remember like when it
very
like those letters from the mom in the insane asylum. I was like, you have to like flip back to like the back of the book to see her letters and like figure all it out and like see the hidden, like if you use like the first word of every line, she's like, "I'm being like raped, help me," and you're like, "Oh shit, what the hell is happening?" Like, like
that's why though it's not horror. That's why last year I think the closest movie to a puzzle of a film that breaks all your traditional ideas of what a movie should be is Tenet. In a lot of ways. So not to get sidetracked on Tenet, but at all. So not that's it. Not gonna say anything else.
It's great. It's great. We'll talk about that sometime.
Yeah.
Because that's a whole nother discussion.
Yeah.
But, Rachel and I, we were at Barnes and Noble like a month ago, and we went into like the young adult fantasy section. And this guy with his girlfriend, the girlfriend was looking at the stuff, and he was just kind of like behind her. And I'm kind of like laughing. They're like 18, 19. And I look at, he's holding House of Leaves. And I had to say something.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, dude, nice book. And he kind of like looks over, he looks down, and he goes, "Oh, you've read it?" And then I go, "Oh yes." Like I was like, "You're in for a treat." I was like, "Yeah, it was like, yeah, you're gonna be blown away." That's what I said to him. I was like, yeah. So it's good to see young people reading something like that.
That is for sure. Absolutely.
There's hope in this movie.
Yeah.
It was just anyway. You like my Gustav Door Lucifer in the background? I
like it.
There you go.
As a DM for Mork, I feel like I'm gonna show you this picture. Oh, that's not what I meant. Sorry. This picture, to me, represents what DMing Mork looks like. Hold on, I wanna.
Oh shit!
Does it not show? Oh, it doesn't show the whole way.
It's part of the picture.
All right, I'm gonna share the screen when I pull it up. Hold on.
It's cool. The red and the white looks like Eddie Van Halen's guitar, but other than that, but that figures.
That image behind you, Eric. Yeah, I a long time ago, what I would do, I did like a video with a bunch of images that I found with Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven backwards. Just
yes.
I was fascinated for a while. I was fascinated with that song backwards.
Sweet Satan.
Yeah,
how's the words go?
The Sweet Satan.
Yeah.
Sweet Satan. Yeah. Because at the time, I think it was always like, it was weird because I thought it told the story of like the fall of the angels, in an interesting way. But I don't know what I did with that video that I did. So yeah, I was obsessed with that. Look at that.
That is cool.
That is.
So where'd you get this art, dude? I love the style of it. like the
Yeah.
So I follow. I'm on Discord for a Mork channel, and
Mm,
people post a bunch of like inspirational art,
that's
and
cool.
I took that from there.
Ugh. God, look at the rings on the hand, like on the
Yeah,
fingers.
the more I look at the detail, it's like the blood
Yeah.
flying and the.
yeah, it's amazing. I love this.
I wish I
It's like
knew
the gods giving this guy right here, like just giving him a touch of inspiration
Yeah,
in the middle of the war.
it's like a mixed bless curse kind of thing
Yeah,
in the middle of a
yeah.
battle. Like
And his eyes, you can see like through his eyes, he's got like the curse is taking full effect and
yeah,
Yeah, he's the only one facing. The rest are we see the behind, but we see
behind.
his face.
He's
Yeah.
hacking away. That's cool.
yeah.
That's really cool.
That's how I feel sometimes with you guys. Like you guys are in the middle of this world, and I'm like, let me just
touch.
my
Yeah.
touch on you.
Yeah, man.
All right, cool. Ready to go?
Already.
Yes.
Let's do this. So you guys walk back in from the outside after shooing away these two servants from the kitchen staff. You've taken your stress, and you find yourself in the dining room. And so you have three options, right? You have Tower 2, where you came from. The chapel, that's the chapel doors are right in front of you as you walk in from the outside. And then you have Tower 1 on the right side. How would you like to proceed?
The one we first game was that's a meta game. I'm not gonna.
No, go ahead. What's your question? I'll answer it in world if it's something I can.
The Tower 1 was the one where is that the first time we entered? Is that how we first entered the place, if I remember correctly?
No, you entered.
I'm totally confused.
So you entered where you are now in the dining room. So in the
Oh,
dining
okay,
room
okay,
where all
okay.
the tables, and that's where the dead lord was with his head smashed in.
I realized. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's there,
okay.
or he was there, anyways.
Yeah.
Renee
Well,
Cyrus buried
Renee
him.
buried him. Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something's
remember.
up with that. I know that Cyrus respected the. I don't know the religion, the legend, but the chapel creeps me out.
Yeah, that was Cyrus's territory. Yeah.
With him being here no more, I also wonder if we should go to the tower, the second tower, and see if the others are still in their rooms or in that area. Because he said they let them out, but there were multiple of them, and so far we've seen 3. We've encountered 3 of them.
Well,
We could take a. I'm wondering if we should take a peek in the chapel and see if we're feeling the presence that we felt coming off of them.
oh. You can see like it cuts his like because he hates any of this type of stuff.
Yeah.
He's like the twitch starts coming back, and then the paranoia is just setting in. His eyes, he's like, all right. He's clenching closer to his crossbow. Let's go.
Was here, and no, he's not. It's just this creepy
there he
ass. Oh, he said he's frozen, but he can
Okay.
see all of us. Oh, well,
Can you hear me now?
Oh, there
Yeah.
you go. Yeah.
we can hear you. We
I'm
can't.
back.
You're
Okay,
not-
yeah.
There you go. Cool.
I was just frozen, and I could see that Eric was talking, but I couldn't hear anything. And then
Yeah.
I had this. It was like a hiccup in the system, so I'm back.
Yeah.
All
We
good.
saw you were still.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, he's
Yeah.
he's really frozen.
Yeah, I'm just like.
So what I said was, yeah. So let's He doesn't like it, but we need to check it out. And if I see anything out of the unusual,
Yeah.
I'll tell you, and you vice versa. So just so
Okay.
you know, are we seeing
Yeah.
the same thing?
If we're seeing the same thing.
Right.
By the way, 2 weeks ago, that similar thing happened, but I froze and it turned my camera off. But the party just heard me going because I was just telling somebody you can't. and it was like can't for like a minute. It was just like can't. And somebody took a video of it. So there's a video of like me frozen. It just can't.
That's awesome.
All right.
So as you're walking into towards the chapel, so you're not there yet, but as you're making your way there,
Mhm.
you start hearing this song.
Fuck.
Do you guys hear that?
Yep.
Cool. So as you're
So-
walking towards the chapel, you actually hear this song.
It is. Does it sound like it? Does it sound like people are singing this from inside the chapel?
It sounds like a recording, just what you're hearing here.
Oh,
Wow. Really? Okay, that's what I was.
that's not
I'm trying to find the right pitch
never.
for this so that it doesn't overpower us. Yeah.
What
So,
is-
so you hear, so you're not in the actual chapel yet, but you're,
yeah.
you're like, I would say you're right outside its doors. You hear this recording playing.
That's a,
Songs.
it's not natural.
That sounds weird.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know if there's a keyhole to look through. Otherwise, might be trying to look to the side, or it might, unless Cut stops me, I might push in the door and peek into the chapel.
Yeah, there's no keyhole, so you would
I'm not gonna stop you.
push the door a little bit, and pushing in, it you don't have a perfect view, right? Because you're only kind of looking through this.
Sure.
But the church looks exactly
How
as it
you-
was. Yeah.
And we don't see the source
The
of the
the
music.
sound is louder after you open the door, right? Because it was kind of stifled by the closed door, but it is a little bit louder as you open that door.
And we don't.
I swing the door open and say, "Stop this madness!" Just
Okay.
yeah.
So nothing happens. The music still plays on its kind of low setting. But what you notice as kind of like, so you open these doors, right? The two doors to the chapel. And I told you guys before, so on both sides of the walls, you have kind of these stained glass windows. And on the kind of like the middle of the room is kind of like this altar. And there's the upside down cross that Cyrus worships. But that's how it was normally. But in the room you walk into, you see kind of like a air bubble between you and the altar or the wall where the upside down Jesus was, and in it kind of like, so if I were to describe the room in a hue, it would kind of be like a yellowy kind of hue of all these stained glasses, kind of illuminating this room. But in this air bubble, it's kind of bluish. It's a different kind of hue, and it kind of like throws you off. But from this air bubble, you hear a scraping noise. And in view of this air bubble, kind of like, I don't know if air bubble is the right word to describe it. It's just it's kind of like a
Orb?
window, like
Oh.
a window, kind of like have you played BioShock Infinite by any chance?
Yes.
Okay, so you know
Great game.
how Elizabeth pulls on those like windows into the alternate universes?
Yeah.
So imagine that, like that kind of like
Got it.
window, and so you hear a noise of like the scraping coming through that, and lo and behold, a figure appears in that window, and that figure looks a lot like this. And I'm gonna share a screen real quick. Not this one. This. You see that nun?
Oh no, you were still seeing the
I still see it.
the
The old-
hand.
The
Got
cool
it.
hand picture.
Let me do a new share. Here you go.
Oh,
Oh,
fuck.
mother of mercy. Literally.
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh boy.
And so she comes out of
Oh,
this air bubble and stands there kind of in front of you guys, in front of that door, and kind of starts sniffing around.
I take a
Start
couple steps back. Yeah, as he nudges me, I start like stepping back and slowly closing the door. But I don't know if it's good.
You're seeing this.
I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it all too well. I'm
And
starting.
as you
Go ahead.
don't start, you don't.
I was gonna say I'm starting to think we don't maybe we can find another compound.
I don't like this for it.
No.
As you walk away from, as you take that step backwards to start closing the door, she points at you, Marlon, specifically, and she says to you in like this very deep, somber, like tenor voice, it's like, "I will execute terrible vengeance against them for what they have done, and when I have inflicted my revenge, they will know that I am with the Lord. You," and again points at you, Marlon. And he takes 3 steps forward towards you, dragging that cross that you saw her carrying. "I name you Fornicator."
Oh, this. Oh shit!
And then Cuts kind of like looks over with like this look of like what the heck, but also like there's a start smile, like kind of like. What?
Of all the things I could have done to deserve to die.
And as she says that, from the
Sorry.
no, it's perfect.
I tried to kill the
back.
mood.
I had to
Yeah,
throw. I had to throw it back to that first episode when Marlon slept with that hooker. As she
What'd
says
you
that
do?
to Marlon, you hear from behind her in that bubble, the song that you're hearing dies out, and instead a klaxon alarm starts going off. Let me lower that. Sorry. So it's like an alarm starts sounding.
Oh shit!
Roll initiative.
All right. Damn it!
Oh boy. All right.
Not too bad. Let's see.
And I'll take the higher roll from between the two of you, so that way we can do kind of
Okay.
like a cinematic.
Yeah. So like whoever. Okay.
Yeah, this will just determine
and
who goes first.
It's presence, right?
Presence. Yep.
I got 17.
So add friends.
Nice.
So 11.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys will go first for sure with that roll.
Oh, okay.
Is that music too loud?
It's actually really low.
Yeah. I turn up a bit. Yeah.
A little bit.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And we're hearing this, right? Like,
Yes.
or we're hearing all that. We're just like, what the heck?
Yeah,
is
the music is like from another world. Yeah, it's like so
Yeah,
we're
right.
hearing it literally like
this ain't music. We're like,
yeah, torturous sound.
Boom, boom, boom.
And so she's standing in front of you guys, pointing at Marlon, the fornicator. She has this kind of like oversized cross in her hand, and she's like walking in your direction.
It's just her.
Just her, yeah.
Okay. I will. I see she's a threat, even though I'm kind of laughing still at Marlon. Cuts just goes sloppily, so I don't know how well he's gonna do it because he's laughing. Screw it, and he goes for it. So that's agility, right? Shooting? No.
If it's melee, it's strength.
Presence.
You're using your crossbow, right? So that's presence.
Yeah, that's presence. Okay, sorry. 12.
12 hits, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Wait, is it 12 or 13? I forget.
Typically it's 12, but unless your creature has a higher.
Yeah,
No,
it just
she
depends
doesn't.
on her.
She's,
Okay.
she's standardized, yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, so you hit.
4 points of. That's not D&D, but I hit for 4 hit points. Yes, or 4. I rolled
4
4.
points. You can say 4 points of damage. All good.
There you go.
All right, cool.
4
So,
points of piercing damage. Wrong game.
all right, so I actually need. Cool. Yeah. So you like. Hold on. I know it's not loud for you guys, but it's so loud for me.
You can take it down, Leah.
Yeah.
It was fine for yeah.
Yeah.
it's fine.
Sorry. It's like blasting on my. I can't even think. All right. So.
No, you're fine.
Yeah. So you're
Usually have to like turn your sound down. It's just some weird things you have to kind of do adjust on your headset because it happens to me sometimes too.
Yeah. So you cuts you shoot her with your crossbow and like it pierces her skin, but you see that like you cut her arm, like you shoot at her and she blocks it with her arm, and as your crossbow like hits it, like these scabs of like someone who the actual official description is skin of penance. So how I imagine that is like, like when like flagellation, like someone who flagellates themselves, like the skin has become like these kind of crusty bruises, and like to protect her from more injury. So like your crossbow hits her, but that crusty skin protects her from damage. And she screams, and like
none of it went through.
No, it did some damage to her. It did do damage, yeah,
not
for
the
sure.
Full. Okay.
But not it's kind of negated a little bit. But even with the damage that Cuts did to her, she's looking at Marlon. Marlon is the sinner in her eyes, and she's still like deadlocked into him.
Fornicator.
That's right, you fornicator, man.
So is there any way to gain penance or ask for forgiveness for this sin? My priest is Sir Cyrus, and I typically confess to him.
And so as you ask that of her, she's gonna take her turn.
Oh fuck!
And
yeah,
and I think he expected, so he's trying to dance.
yeah. So he's kind of like, she's gonna like cock back her cross and like swing it at you and say, "I will execute vengeance upon you," and try to like swing down on you.
Gosh.
So go ahead and roll your defense. And so you have to hit a 14.
Rolling decent tonight. All right,
because of your armor.
Because I get a minus.
No. So you have to hit a 14 to succeed.
Oh, 14. I had an 18.
Okay, sweet.
Yep.
Perfect. So she like slams down.
I just Dark Souls roll out of the way, like just dive and roll.
Yeah, you did a barrel roll.
Yeah.
And, like, so she like swings down this cross at you, and like she slams down. You're able to avoid it, and you see like the tip of that cross, kind of like the splinters, with like the force of impact of how hard she would have hit had you stayed there. And so that was her turn. So Marlon, you still get an action.
Yeah.
I think you tried to dissuade it. I would say that's your move. So you
okay.
Or actually pick one. That I would say that's like your one, like a free action. So you get another free action, either move or attack. Your choice, whatever you want to do.
Move or attack. So is he telling me to run? Because
I'm just saying one of your actions. Because
I'd like use one. So I'm right there. And it looks like Cuts is he's in the thick of it too, right? He's right next to her. So
he aimed with a crossbow, so he's
I'm back a little bit.
So if you're back a little bit, is Cuts in the doorway of the church, or are we both in the church? Like, are we because she came at me. I'm just trying to see where I'm at spatially.
Yeah, so I think because you were moving away to close the door, she smelled you out as the sinner. Right, and so she, like, you guys, I think are at the doorway.
Yeah.
I think Cuts may have taken a step back. She your guys are like at the doorway between the chapel and
Yeah.
the dining room. Yeah.
I'm gonna come off that roll and kind of Loki strike with that dagger, and I imagine like I kind of like step on because it's the cross is on the ground. I kind of step on the cross and lunge to kind of jump off of it like 1 foot with a little bit of that momentum.
Perfect. Yeah. Go for it.
I gotta pray after this game.
Man, for real, this is the one roll when I need this. I have failed with a 5.
You guys still have your.
I
omens?
got an 8. Oh, Omen. Yes, I'm
Well,
gonna
you know what? We never actually rolled omens, so let's do
Oh
that
yeah, what
now.
I need to do. Yeah, because I'm definitely about
let's
to
do
burn
that.
one.
I gotta look at those too.
Let me see omens again.
Page 38, I think. Maybe I'm wrong on that.
Nope.
but-
Yep. You're absolutely.
Oh yeah.
On the,
I know my
on the money.
character. I only have one Omen, so
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
depending on your class.
I have one.
Um.
I have to roll to get it back. Is that how it works?
No, you get it. Well, yeah, you get. Let me see. Hold on.
Because we probably didn't. I don't know if we rested long enough, right, to get it back. Is the thing.
So,
Yeah.
Eric, you're gonna roll a D2,
A D2. Oh, that's right.
and Wretched Royalty rolls a D2 as well. So,
D2.
Yeah.
All right.
I can get my
I got a 3
D4 out of here.
out of a D6.
out of. Oh, I got a D6 or a D. I rolled a D2. Oh, sorry, a D2. That means I would have been 3. I rolled a 3, so that would be 2, right?
Okay, yeah.
All right, let's try this. Here we go. These are metal ones, and they're like stuck in the.
Yeah.
Here we go. 3.
Okay, so you
rolled
got a 2.
Oh, nice.
Wait, you rolled a D6?
I rolled a D4.
Okay, then yeah, you get 2. Yeah.
All right, and we can burn an Omen to re-roll, right? All right.
Yeah, you get to re-roll or counter a critical.
Okay.
Yeah, there's like 4 or 5 things.
Yeah.
Maximum damage. Yeah. Reroll.
Then
Or someone else's.
I'll burn it on a re-roll. Burn 1 on a re-roll. Fuck! I got an 11. I got an 11. So I missed.
That's fair.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So as you because you took a step onto the cross,
Yeah.
she kind of like started lifting it,
Good
and
loss.
you kind of like got off balance and missed your kind of swipe. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah. So next round of combat.
Oh man.
She's gonna go after. She's going after Marlon. So Marlon, you're her focus because
Okay.
you're the fornicator, man.
Yeah.
She's
So-
go ahead and roll your.
14.
Yep.
14 defense. I might have done okay on this because I rolled an 11 plus. Actually, maybe not because 11. It's
Defense.
toughness, right?
That's
No, it's
agility.
Agility.
Or-
Agility would get me to 14 with a 3.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So she like gets that cross up of your feet and tries to swing at you again, but because you're already stumbling backwards, you're able to really just kind of move away from that hit.
Good grief.
Yeah. Cool. Now you guys, what's up?
I immediately go for another shot. We have like 6 more left. I'll go for another shot.
Can you guys hear the music? Okay.
Yeah. It's good for me.
14.
14 hits. Yeah, go for it.
All right. 3 points
All right.
of damage.
Yeah. So this. I know it's not as dark as I wanted it to be. But
It's funny.
I'm seeing the scene like in like the Kingsman movies, like fast edited, hard cuts, like very quick, slow kind of.
yeah.
Mhm.
I picked this song because of the klaxon, like the alarm going off. outside.
Yes, the alarm. Yeah.
And there's a reason why there's an alarm to be determined later, but that's why I picked it. I know it's not thematically the same or correct, but we'll deal with it.
It's got nice energy. I'm hoping that
It's working.
You
It's
don't
working.
die. Yeah.
Cool. So cuts. You shoot another gun with the crossbow, and again it pierces her skin, and you see like these flakes of like the bruised flagellation skin, like that. Those kind of like that it's created an armor of injury for her, and it kind of like you see like the crossbow pierces her, but skin flakes fall off, preventing some of that damage. And she like cries out, and now because you've injured her a second time, she looks at you, and like you can't see her eyes, right, because of like the cowl that's over
Cow,
her.
yeah.
But somehow you know, like her brow is a little bit furrowed at you, like you're starting to gain some attention
Yeah.
because of you're bothering her.
And I try to capitalize off of that and just go rush back in for another strike.
Yeah, go for it.
Second omen burn. 'Cause that was a sale.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh. That's another 11. I missed both of those. I have no more omens. I am just swinging at this lady wildly. Nothing.
Yeah, and so Cuts, you see from your side, like very kind of typical Marlin behavior. Just like Marlin is like yelling in frustration and
Like here we go. Yeah.
just like swiping and swiping and swiping, trying to swipe at her, and this nun is just kind of like backing away, blocking it with her like her cross, just like tink, like his knife getting stuck in her wood, like just, as she like just blocks him and like pushes it away.
God damn it! And like I'm like going crazy, but I'm hoping that Guts like is finds the shot, like that kills him.
I got a few ideas here.
Okay, cool. So we're at the top of the round. So if you guys want to go for it.
All right. You see, Cuts kind of looks at you and goes like that because he starts doing something with one of his bolts. He pulls something out. It's gonna take him a moment, real quick.
Okay.
He's doing something with a bolt. Yeah.
Okay. So what are you gonna do, Marlon? He's told you to go away or make space.
Oh, he told me to give him space.
Right? That's what you said, right? Like
Is that what you're asking
for? I can't. What I'm doing is I'm putting poison on the bolt. That's gonna take a moment, right?
Got it.
Assume. So he has. I'm kind of like, go for it, do something quickly,
okay.
before she attacks again.
Oh, that's okay.
Sorry, I wasn't clear on that, but yeah.
I'm thinking Malcolm. Does Malcolm go for creativity or just go for like another attack? It's like it makes RPGs so difficult sometimes for the player. It's like it's.
I know when Mork gives you so many options, you're like it's so simple. It's like just roll. But
that's the thing about OSR. You have to really. It Cuts while he does it. He kind of goes, kill her. And he's like putting this stuff on.
So actually, I'm just gonna go with fluff. I'm gonna go for an attack, but what I'm kind of swinging down with the dagger towards the ground. I imagine that he has his short sword in his hand, but he uses it more for blocking since I've only been attacking with the dagger.
Okay.
And he's trying to kind of go low and slam it. He's going for the foot, whether he hits that or not.
Okay.
Hoping that whether he hits her foot or not, hopefully he can hit what he's aiming to do is he hears Cuts call out as he wants to stab into her her robes. So that even if he misses, she gets caught, so that Cuts can fire the shot, right? So he fires his dagger into the ground.
So here's what
what would you ask me to do?
So what I'm gonna do, because you're not technically attacking for an attack, you're trying to assist in a way.
Well, okay. Well, I was arguing that I am he's going for her. He's trying to stab her, but if he misses, he's trying to. Yeah, I don't know what you want to rule that as.
So what I would do, I would roll that as a 14 to hit her.
Okay.
And if you do connect, you give Cuts an advantage on the attack.
Got it. So I don't get any damage if I do it. Is that it?
No, you would still do damage.
Still do damage. Oh, yeah. But if I hit, I still get 14. Okay.
So yeah,
I'm surprised you didn't make it one higher since I'm trying to do something a little bit more.
Because it's a 12 to hit. So what I would say is from 12 to
14, I see what you're saying.
So if you hit a 12 or a 13, you do damage only. If you hit a 14 or higher, you also gave an assist to Cuts.
Okay. I have and when I roll with attacker, it's strength, right? Or is it agility? It's strength.
Strength.
So I actually got a 16, 13 plus 3.
Okay. So you're going to do your damage, but then when Cut attacks, because your attack was successful and past that threshold, because the reason I didn't want to make it difficult is because her robe is her robe. It's like a full body robe.
Full
It's not
body
like,
robe.
it's not like you're aiming at like a jewel on her earring. Like I feel like
Yes.
that, right? You know.
No, I'm just gonna.
Yeah. So because it's kind of like a general attack of her bottom torso, I think it's an easy attack for you. So
Okay.
so roll your damage and then cuts when you attack your poison attack, you're gonna get advantage.
Okay.
So I don't know what the DM wants to do with this, but I rolled my damage and it's rolled a 16. It's my poison dagger.
Okay.
I rolled a 1. I don't know if you want to use that or tear the fluff to cast that to cut since he's putting poison on his, but that 1 normally kills whatever is hit by it.
Really? Okay.
I don't know if I think the creature still gets an armor, but if they,
Malcolm, you're like ashamed to say it.
I was ashamed, but it's like, and there's nothing the rulebook says it goes away. It's just like that's the weapon. That's the one thing that Wretched Royalty has. It's like the only thing and the best thing. Yep, it's my only.
It's the one thing he has. We have to.
It's really all I have. There's nothing else that character can do in the game, but.
Well,
yeah, no. So yeah, because you have the snake skin, right? The snake skin one. That's your weapon, Malcolm.
It's the poison dagger in a green box or something wrapped in a green cloth, and it's the one that when you roll a 1, if the monster takes the damage, then they outright die
Immediately.
Let me get my because I think they still get an armor save. Yeah, I don't know if they get the armor. I think they.
Yeah, it's the snake skin gift. You're right.
Yeah, snake skin gift.
But on a 1, the target dies immediately. Deadly poison, weeping from the blade. No, so you're good.
But she might be like I don't know. She might be otherworldly. She may not. She may be a spirit. So I don't even know.
No, no, she's not. So yeah. So cuts from your end. You're like in the background. They're kind of like tipping like. Dabbing your crossbow bolt into your vial of poison, right? Getting it ready.
That's
but
great.
As you're doing that, you look up, and Marlin kind of like flips his dagger up in the air, catches it, and stabs right down into kind of like her neck bone of the Redeemer nun, right? And he like reaches out to Marlin and like kind of like her fingers like graze upon his like skin. She's trying to like do damage and connect with you, but that poison is having such an immediate quick effect on her that she kind of like just like it's like a futile attempt, just like kind of like pawing at your shirt and your cloth as she like dies in your arms, like as she just kind of like crumples down onto the ground. Dies.
Cup's kind of like clears his throat and kind of looks over at Marlin like.
And Marlin's just like kind of like shrugs and then looks down and like this, kind of clutches his dagger to his chest and leans forward and goes, "Yes, Marlin the fornicator." In her face.
Yep. And as you say that, as Marlin says that, you see that kind of like that air bubble kind of like disappears. And so that music, that klaxon noise and like the Jesus song kind of like fades out. And behind the altar where the upside down Jesus was, it kind of moves to the side. And you hear like kind of like a metallic clanking, like as like the Jesus kind of wall shifts to the side. And as it does, you see another stained glass behind it. And on it is number 7, right? You see it as because there's 3 stained glasses on each side. And on the one in front of you is number 7. And what you see is a black disc covering the sun. And on the bottom of that, like just under it on the like the picture frame is a book, a yellow book that is burning, and the title of that burning book says Dark Fort.
Okay.
So
it's burning, you said.
Yeah, so it's like a black disc covering the sun, and right under that is a book kind of with the spine open.
Yeah.
If you would imagine it like kind of like this, right? And then in it, it's on fire, but you can kind of see like the cover of it, and the cover on the front says Dark. I realized you couldn't see shit because of my screen.
But yeah, I think I know what you're. Yeah.
like it says here, watch. Let me see this real quick. All right. So it's kind of like it's like a book like this,
Mhm.
and it's burning. You see like the flames coming up, and on it right here on the cover, you can see where it says Dark Fort.
Shit.
You see that?
Yeah, I do.
And so where that has opened up, right where you see that stained glass window, there's underneath that there's a stairway leading down.
Yeah. I really wish Cyrus was here for this.
Um, I get a little closer, and then I stop. I kind of look at Marlon. I kind of go, come with me. You know?
Yeah, and he's kind of slowly tucks his head and starts to walk. Like, can't we just leave this place? Go back to the town. Uh, he follows Cuts.
So you're heading downstairs?
Are we heading downstairs, Cuts? Like, what do you think? And so if we stand
we
there
see?
on the stairs, yeah, we
Thank
see
you.
a dark. What do we?
On the precipice, yeah.
Yeah, on the precipice. So yeah, it's an actual stairway. It's not a ladder like the other rooms in this house or in this fort. And you kind of see like it's dark, so you can't see too much, but you see there is like a greenish light coming from underneath. Like you can kind of see like down at the bottom there's a platform, and there's a greenish light coming from there. So there's more down there, but you can't make out. Like it's not visible what's out there.
Marlon pulls up his dagger and kind of like giving a little speech, like kind of like a politician thumbing it. I guess if we kill whatever evil resides here, then we actually have what we came for. Trying to reassure himself that he should go down there for some reason, you know.
Yes. He kind of looks over at the burning book, and does that mean anything to you?
It would have meant something to Cyrus, but it has something to do with the basilisk and the end of the world, I believe. But what do I know? And I imagine I'm kind of going off of what Cyrus, when he first walked us through, like some of the stained glass.
Yeah. So part of that you guys would know, because like the prophecy of
yeah, we also know some
the
of the
basilisk is known, right? It's like
Yeah.
something that's talked about in the villages and towns and stuff like that. So you would know that the final prophecy is
Does this
covering of the sun, right? Like there would be an eclipse that would cover the sun forevermore. So
Is it-
so that's apparent
Okay.
to you guys. The book may not make sense to you, but the
relates
visuals of
to
the
it.
sun does. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
visuals do? Does the creepy lady, does she mean anything to, like, do we know anything about? Do you know anything about her? Like Marilyn does. Who was
Yeah.
that? Like, she knew who you were.
Actually, yeah, speaking of, actually, it almost makes Marlon snaps out for a second, looks at the body, and says, kind of creeps over and he starts to inspect it, see if
Yeah, let's
there's
do that.
anything
Do
on
that,
her.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll for me a perception.
All right. That will be a 16.
Okay. Second here. You find on her a healing potion that has one dose of a D4 healing.
Nice. And do I this like because we know she looks like a nun. Does this speak to us in our world any? Like, have we seen anyone
None
dressed
at
anything
all.
like this? Okay.
Nope. Yeah, this is completely a foreign element for you guys.
Okay.
And should we expect her? She looks, other than creepy, human.
Yeah. So if you're gonna like rip the bodice or like the vestment
Oh,
from
just-
her, like
Not all of
or
it.
No. She had like
No.
she had like something over her eyes, right? So I would
but it
probably
was
like
okay, yeah.
I would probably just reveal her face and like see what her eyes look like or what her what her natural face looked like.
yeah. So let me
Yeah.
just. So yeah. So if you kind of like pull back the
Yeah,
vest,
no.
like kind of like the robe from her eyes,
Yeah.
she looks human.
Okay. Just
Like for all
dead.
appearances, it's a human person. Yeah.
And she walked through a portal. Jeez. This gets more strange. But when has a day in this world not been strange? Yeah.
This is
Should we check elsewhere before we go down here? Should we check on the others? Or even just get the fuck out of here? There's
there's this rational part, right?
right.
So I was like,
What is that? What is that?
cat just scared me. I'm like all intense with this game. My cat just like rushed.
Oh yeah, ugh, stop.
No. Yeah. Cyrus.
Yes.
I feel whatever happened to him, this is related.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong. And if you die or you're about to die, I will run the other way. I just hope you know that. But
I
maybe we
will.
should-
Yeah, these days aren't getting any better, so I say we do it, and hopefully tonight I can actually sleep without.
we finally find a home, and look what happens.
Yeah, I'm starting to lose faith in my dreams.
Dreams.
Just things that I want
Oh,
to reestablish my nobility and to make life better for those under me does not seem possible any longer.
so we can talk about this later.
Yeah.
But and he starts to
Yeah.
hawks up another one,
Yep.
and he goes, "Were you were you did you ever have servants, a house, or what?"
I
Yes.
did. Was I had it good. I've realized just how good I had it. To be honest, I feel that I am everything. I've heard the peasants tell me that I had a silver spoon in my mouth, and now I realize I did. But to be honest, you and Cyrus have you've kept me here, and I know I can be a pain. But all things considered, I cared for that priest deeply, and I just
Well-
want us to let us pay whatever's down there back for what it did to him.
I like it. I've only known alleyways and ditches, so I got nothing to lose. But something brought me back. Maybe we can bring him back.
If we make it through this, I shall dub you a knight in the world to come, and I'll even make sure that there are plenty of buckets so that you can throughout my halls, so that you can constantly not spit on the fine floors. They will be fine floors at one day, right? Let us dream for now. with our eyes open.
And then he looks at his bolt and he snips it. Let's go. The poison's still on it.
So you walk downstairs.
Yep.
Yeah, we're doing it.
Sweet. So you walk downstairs, and when you get there, what you find is something pretty different from everything you've ever seen before. You find in front of you there's a glass box. And inside that box is a servant, one of the servants that you liberated the night before. And he's laying on a metal slab. And in front, so what you're seeing, he's laying there separate, like kind of in the middle of this box. And as you kind of take that in, a voice comes on in the room. It says, "Welcome. A key will be given to you through the lockbox next to this glass." And it kind of like a light shines on this area, and it's like kind of like a pedestal. It's like a key will be given to you through there, but only after watching this man be crushed to death. You can stop this and gain your key, but you must give up one of your hands. And it like a light shines on a box, and it's kind of like a velvet kind of curtain, where like when you're like in an escape room or something like that, where you like put your hand in the box and there's a curtain hiding. It kind of like shines on that and says, "You have 5 minutes to decide, or I decide for you."
So let the man be crushed to death or lose a hand. I'm gonna look at Cuts. Unfortunately, I don't know the man enough.
Yeah, we don't recognize him, right?
You do.
Yeah.
He's one of your servants.
He's one of the servants. He's
Cuts looks at the man, and you can see there's like this. You don't see very often. Like he feels kind of bad, but then starts looking at his hands and goes, "I need him to live." and then he says, he could be like the bad ones upstairs.
yeah. Marlon looks to see if he's smiling.
He's not responsive. So
Okay.
like in this initial look through, he's not responsive, but you can't get close because he's kind of partitioned off with this glass. So there's a distance between you and this table where he's laying on.
And this doesn't feel like a magically set up scenario. This almost feels like there's a curtain, and there's like it's like set up like we're being presented some kind of like almost like some kind of weird like escape room show kind of deal, some kind of Saw situation, or is this like okay?
Yeah. Yep.
I think we may have found our cult. This is the way you all do things around here. Then who am I to step in the way of the culture?
I tell you, cults are always the problem. See, this is the shit they do. He Cuts kind of looks back and says, "Lose a hand or him, right?"
Yeah. Unless we're really not going to lose a hand. And
Cuts starts looking around. And no detection.
Is there the doors are still open to upstairs, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then if you're in the room, past the glass chamber, there is another door, but it's locked.
Okay.
Yep.
Marlon says, 1 second, and runs upstairs, disappears for a second, and he goes and starts sawing and hacking at one of the hands from up to here on the nun.
Okay.
And he brings
As
it
you do
back.
that, Marlon. Cuts. You will take 1 stress. Marlon, you take 2 stress.
Takes 2 stress. Okay.
That makes sense.
Yep.
I would. I kind of looks like, where are you going?
Yeah.
Yep.
So when I get back, I have the nun's like severed arm, and I go. I just walk over to the box, and I stick the hand in.
Perfect. Yeah. So you stick this forearm kind of like
Yeah.
into the box, and immediately, kind of like the the system, like kind of like the chamber where that person is in, kind of like darkens, but like kind of like lights were turned off.
Yeah.
Like it kind of darkens, and the pedestal that lit up earlier when they said a key will be presented here, kind of like slides out with a key,
Oh shit. Okay.
and you hear the voice say to you, the voice that told you earlier, the rules of this game, like a human sacrifice holds no value if it's not your own. Carry on to the next room.
God, goddamn games. And
Cuts kind of wobbles over to Marlon with his stumpy toes and like, it's like that wasn't a bad idea.
worth a try.
All right.
I refuse to let them take our limbs that easy. And so I guess we'll take the key, and do we move on to the?
Yeah.
I'll hand
Okay.
the key to Cut since he's more of a roguish kind of like.
Yeah.
Here you go. Why don't you?
Yeah.
A sacrifice, you mean? Yeah.
There you go.
He looks at the key and like it disappears in his clothes. He's like, all right.
Well, I mean, you're gonna use that to open
On the door, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Okay. So you walk into this next chamber, and it's a very similar setup, but in one chamber, in behind this kind of glass thing, you see kind of like let's say like a test tube, right? And in that test tube, it's open. There's a human inside, another one of your servants,
Gosh.
holding a dog.
A dog?
A dog. Yep. And this chamber, this human is alive, and she sees you, and she's like, "Help me!" Starts banging on the kind of like this chamber that she's walked into, and the voice comes on again. It's like, "Ding!" The vat above that chamber is filled with poison. Each stopper above that chamber will remain closed for 1 minute. After 5 minutes, that acid will empty out into one of the containers below. You get to decide: will one of you die, or will the sacrifice die? And so
Wait.
you kind of see. So it's two
So we
chambers.
choose the dog, we choose the lady, or we choose.
No.
Oh.
So there's 2 chambers. There's a lady, one of your servants, holding a dog in this kind of chamber, and then there's another chamber that's empty right now, and you can see there's like a flow, like a kind of like a flow, and there's it'll flow either way, either into your chamber, into the empty chamber, or into the chamber where someone's in. So they're saying if you don't step into the one chamber, the chamber with the sacrifice will be filled with poison.
I lean in and I go, listen, the one thing I did notice when I expected the nuns or that woman's the dead hand to be chopped or chewed away. Nothing happened. Do we risk? Is this a game of bluff?
And then Cuts kind of like, for that one brief moment, he looks a little more intelligent than he really is.
Yeah.
He kind of says, he kind of like, are you saying this is a trial of faith?
If Cyrus was here, he would probably believe this to be the case. The problem is, which faith are we in the clutches of the cult?
Cuts immediately starts going.
Yeah.
on.
Or the church of this. I think we know a little bit about the Church of the Basilisk.
So as you say that, stop talking right now. So as you say that right now, like one of the chambers above that opens, like it goes clink, like it removes, and the vial of poison just drops one level.
Oh,
So it's not all the way through, but he gave you a 5-minute window.
is it over? Is it who is it over? Is it over the? Oh,
It's
we don't.
still, it's like a central pillar,
Oh, so when
and then
it
at the
eventually
bottom it'll split. Yep.
God
and
damn
so-
it.
And so you don't know. So if I make sure I understand,
Is
you
it
don't-
glass that separates us between this lady? What is it?
Yeah. So I'm gonna stop the clock real quick. All right. So
Oh, yeah.
so if you imagine like, hold on, let me do something real quick.
Sure.
I'm gonna remove. Oh,
I like these games.
all right, cool. So so it's easier to describe. So there's like a central column where the poison is in, and then it kind of branches out into two, right?
Got
and
it.
so of those two, there's one person already with the dog in
Yeah.
one chamber, and the other. So you get to choose if you enter one chamber and close the door in, that chamber will be like all the liquid poison would
We'll go
funnel
there.
into that one. If you leave it empty, it's gonna funnel to the chamber that's already filled. And so with that, I'm gonna restart the clock.
Okay. I am not I'm sorry. I do not have the faith. Cuts.
And Cuts kind of looks down, and for once he kind of looks pitiful and ashamed, you know, and he's like,
The second chamber opens, clink, and it drops more.
I want to kill who's ever responsible for this. It's
And
just
we can't kill them if we're dying in acid.
And he kind of looks over at the girl with the dog, and he's kind of he's like, oh, he's not gonna look anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the whole time she sees you, she's like, "Please save me, save me!" She's like pounding, like trying to get out of that.
Yeah, I think we're both just kind of looking away, geez.
Cyrus.
Let me get myself. Yeah, no. I rolled to see if I had the courage.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, I was like roll to see if I had any kind of courage on my.
Cuts just starts yelling like, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
The third chamber opens. And so you have 2 minutes left. Are you?
I'm just. You
Just gonna-
fucking idiots! Like, why would you do this? What purpose does this serve? To let a woman and a dog die?
Is she pretty?
Sure.
No, I was just like, it would be the way Cuts would react. It was like,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
it was like, I was just, and she's pretty. Like, so, oh gosh. Yeah.
I am sorry, my lady. We will make them pay.
Oh, jeez Louise.
The fourth chamber opens up. Clink. Yelling, "Please stop! Don't let them kill me, please!" Nothing.
Cuts. Kind of looks at you and kind of goes, "What the hell?" And he runs back up and he starts dragging the girl.
Oh no! He's gonna bring the nuts. He's gonna try it.
Boom, boom, boom,
I
boom,
see
boom.
him go. I run back and try to help him. And we throw.
Yeah, go ahead.
But they
roll
told him
something.
they wanted. He said we needed our personal sacrifice. It probably won't work, but
Then
worth
you
a shot.
jump in. I'm not. And he throws
Yeah,
her in.
Perfect. Yeah, and so as Marlin catches the body and like shoves her into this chamber and closes it, it's literally 4:57 mark. Closes it down. The last chamber opens, and it switches into not the nun, into the actual servant and
Yep.
God. And all of you see the liquid pour over them, and you see their skin deteriorate, melting, and the screams of that person as they melt, and the dog yapping as everything kind of falls apart on them. Both of you take 2 stress and roll a sanity save.
I'm going to fucking kill you all.
Are we at like 7 or 8? What are we at?
I think we're at 9. I was at 7, so now I'm at 9.
Okay.
And then a sanity.
Oh, gosh.
Unless I'm wrong, yeah.
So I roll the 2d10 first.
Yep.
Got 12, so
I got 8.
8, perfect, excellent.
I'm already crazy. Like what?
Yep. Yeah. So what you're gonna do is roll another 2d10.
Okay.
Wow.
This is fun. And then what do I tell you?
So tell me the combined number.
So like percentage or add to that?
Add them up. Yeah.
Okay, so that is 13.
Okay. So now you will gain an additional stress. And for the next, hold on. Okay, for the next 3 hours,
Oh boy.
you have to make a fear save anytime you engage in combat, or if you fail, you have to flee. So you're.
That's not so bad because if you run, I'm running too. Get the fuck
You're-
out of here.
Your panic effect is cowardice. So you're cowardly for the next 3 hours.
All right. You can see just cuts is just like there's shame, there's horror, there's anger, and if you thought he had a screw loose before, he's looking even extra twitchy, and the phlegm is coming up more. And just yeah.
Yeah, and it's very similar to what I mean. Both of you have felt it. Both of you watching that woman be burned, and you both know that you deep down inside you think you could have done more, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
but that emotion is manifesting deeper with cuts.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's taking like a physical manifestation, but as it does, right? As the vat of acid falls over the girl and the dog.
God damn, a girl and a dog.
Yep.
That's not cool.
I warned you guys last time there would be if you guys were okay with animal violence, and you said yes. So
Yeah, I'm fine.
If you're playing Borg and you're against that, there's something wrong.
I'm good.
Yeah. And so as that happens, the platform kind of moves out with a key.
Okay. We'll take it and open the next door, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, Marlon's just kind of gone quiet, just now just kind of almost very mechanically just all right, next room. Because at this point, I mean, I think he's just at the resolve of this is just going to get worse, right? Yeah. So,
yeah. And so you open the second door, and what you come up to is, how to describe this? It's a circular room, and there's in the middle of this room, there's another circular platform that's elevated, and on it is a man, and you recognize him as one of your servants, and he's actually writing notes, and he has his back towards you, but you recognize him from the back that this is one of the men you have liberated before, and he's writing notes as you guys enter this chamber.
Now we know where everyone went.
Yeah.
And so he's not behind a glass or anything. He's just sitting in the middle of the room on a
No,
platform.
yeah, he's exposed to you guys. Yep, but just on a little elevated platform. Not too much. Like I would say, like 2 or 3 steps. You know, like on a regular traditional stairway. Like just a little bit higher than you guys.
So, sir, it kind of Marlon calls out.
Just
Are
point
you-
ready.
Are
What?
you okay?
And what did you say, Cuts?
He's shaking, but he's pointing it
Yeah.
just in case.
I think Marlon brings up because Marlon has a crossbow too. Imagine like at this point we're both just like crossbows out.
Yeah.
That's all he's doing.
Yep.
Marlon's
And so-
talking.
Yeah. So the servant turns around and looks at you, and he says, "Well," and he has like a kind of like a journal in his hand, and he's like writing down. He's like, "Interesting results. Not at all what we expected." And he puts the journal down. He says, "Please, please, enter." And he's like stands up. He's like, "Come inside. Come." And he like kind of guides you inside, tells you to come in.
Keep the crossbow on him. Move in, looking at the walls, the rest of the room, see if anything looks off.
Yeah, same here.
Are there any other doors going anywhere else? Anything door on the other side of the room?
There is a door on the far end, like on the opposite end of where you guys walked into. There is another door, but it is closed.
What is this about? Speak and be very clear.
Of course, I apologize for the distress those trials may have caused you. And he kind of like taps his hand. He's like, you see, our Lord requires trials of faith. And we wanted to see what those trials would do to... Let me backtrack a little bit. I see that the priest didn't make it with you, and that is very, very unfortunate, because I think he would appreciate this a little bit more. But we all know about the end of the world, correct? As predicted by Shi.
Yes.
But see, what our faith believes in is that there's a way to defeat that prophecy. But as we work towards that, of course, we have to take steps to, even if our plans against that do not work, we can survive the end of times. And so what we've done for you is, how do I explain this? And as he says that, another person appears from the shadows. Someone you didn't see before. Just kind of stepped in from the darkness. And he walks up to the elevated platform where this servant of yours was at. And he like puts his hand on his head and says, he looks at you and he says, "We don't need this anymore." And he pushes the servant to the ground. And when the servant hits the ground, the top of his head opens. And this liquid comes out of the top of his head. And it smells like cinnamon and like a fresh meal. You guys may not remember this, but it smells like what the chamber in bloat smelled like.
God damn it.
The
Bad
robots,
memories.
those automations.
It was what made me want to rest.
Right, Heath.
And so those automations very similar to that. I mean, your characters won't know that, but your players will, right?
Mhm.
Just like
Yeah,
vision,
yeah,
what
yeah.
you guys want to look at or consider. And so this man pushes one of that servant that's talking to you over. He's like, "We don't need this anymore." And the servant falls to the floor. His head pops open, and this liquid just pours out.
Yes.
And he kind of sits there, and you, above the sweet cinnamony smell that came from that servant, what you smell now is like sulfur. And he sits down where the servant was sitting, and he crosses his leg and he says, I apologize for the rude introduction. My name is Philip, and I welcome you to our home. Uh, my servant had a way with words, or a lack of way with words, to explain what's happening here. You see, I'm not, well, myself and the man upstairs, as your priest may worship, the man on the cross, are not of this world. We come from another. This fort was our transport, our ship, some would say, from our world to this. And we don't particularly care for these end of world prophecies. We're actively searching of ways to stop these prophecies. You all have performed admirably, in spite of the gilded nail working against you.
Gilded nail.
Yes. We've watched you perform in your games. We've watched you, and he looks at Marlin, burn down mansions. He kind of chuckles and he's like, we've watched you fornicate. And we are pleased by what we've seen.
Pretty sure it was a goddamn good show.
It's certainly passable for this world. But there's more work to be done. I know of your... And he kind of gets up and like walks past you guys. And like he's standing behind Cuts, but you can feel something grabbing, like kind of like stroking Marlin across his like shoulder blades. He's like, we know of your desires to own a home, to find a home in these dark times. And then he walks over behind Marlin, and Cuts feels that kind of like, again, that like a finger just kind of scraping his shoulder blades. Like, and we know of your need to find a home and a family to call your own. And we want to provide those things for you. And we want to provide those things for you beyond the end of the world. So, in order for us to do that, we ask only one small favor. You see, our mutual friends, and he kind of walks up back to the platform and sits on that chair again. Our mutual friends, the Gilded Nail, have found something in the city of Grift. And we want you to reclaim it. Do this for us. And... well, we've seen that our experiment worked. For some of you anyways. We'll promise that even if the end of times come, your body will survive. You will survive.
And if we say no to this proposition, I'm sure you're just going to pop our tops of our heads off and kill us. Do we even have a choice?
My dear Marlin, you always have a choice. Our friend here, and he kind of points at the decapitated body, he's like, he served his purpose. If you say no, we could just find another purpose for you.
And DM, did you say we smell sulfur?
Yes.
Okay.
Why is this shit? Why should this even be? Why should we be enticed? You've shown us nothing but death and destruction so far. Not much different from what we've seen in every path that we've walked so far. These are these are easily empty promises. Would you agree, Cuts? Or they feel like they could easily be empty promises.
Kill the girl and that dog.
Yeah. Is that how you treat all your servants? We're simply just we must clearly just be pawns. Oh, you said if we say no, we just end up in another box as a as a puzzle for the next poor soul.
Did I kill the girl?
We didn't.
In fact, you did. You had a choice to let her live or take her place.
We
And
didn't.
he like, and you see like, so in this chamber that he's kind of like an elevated platform. It's kind of like surrounding, kind of like if you think about like a sci-fi world, like a command center, kind of like an elevated, right? And like there's like a desk kind of around in this circle, and he kind of like reaches into an area that you can't see. You see kind of like similar to like the bubble where that nun came out of. He reaches his hand into that and pulls out a glass with like a drink in it. It's like you had the choice, and you chose her life over yours. Are you blaming me for that?
We made no choice. That is not the same as making one of the two choices that you gave us.
My dear Marlon, that's where you're wrong. That is still a choice.
You put the girl and the dog in there. And he's like shaking as he's like holding it, you know.
And goes, was there anybody in that box? I wonder. And kind of like a movie flashback, like this, like the vial, like where that girl and the dog were. Like it, like there's a girl in there, and like it flashes like sporadically, like like there's like no one, and then flashes back in like, into your memories. Like,
it was an illusion. Something.
Regardless of your, let's say, non-choices, we are still pleased with you, and we welcome you. But we need you to do just one more thing for us.
What are we going to find? What is this that you need us to recover?
Just a box.
Just a box.
Doesn't sound creepy at all.
Oh, Cuts. You and I both know that this world's creepiness has evolved.
He's still shaking because he's clearly unhinged right now.
Yeah.
More so than before.
There's a part of Marlon that's almost like ready to die here and now than be some slave to some otherworldly, some cosmic being that he sees this thing as.
Yeah.
But he looks at Cuts shaking, and since he doesn't know where he stands, maybe living a day and maybe even agreeing to this is a way to get out of this room. And so he looks to Cuts and he says, "What say you?" And yeah, he just says, "What say you, Cuts? Do we do this?"
There's a moment where Cuts, he's staring at this Philip guy, and he kind of looks over at Marlon. And there's a moment where, like, you can see what screws he had left. They're more unhinged, a little less. His eyes look not like a crime, but there's like a misty eye type thing in his eyes, heavy eyes, and he kind of just he's not a pretty guy. He just says, even though he doesn't want to do it, if you do it, I'll go.
And then Marlon kind of gives him a nod, snaps his blonde hair, whips back towards this character, puts his finger pointing up towards his face. And
There he is.
yeah, and he goes, "If I do this for you with my group and my men, clearly you have seen what I am capable of and what we are capable of. We cannot do this alone. You will give me my priest back. Cyrus, I need him."
Oh, I'll give you more than just your priest back. And he kind of like looks to the side and goes, "I'm gonna accept that as your acknowledgement of our deal. You will go to Grift and find me the box, and you will know the box I mentioned." And he kind of turns around into this kind of like chamber, and he reaches into another one of those green pockets, like those like blue kind of
Mhm.
air pockets, and he turns it on. Like he like puts his finger on a button, and like you hear like something is turning on, activating. And all around you, you see that this chamber that you're in, a bunch of like little window, like little squares start lighting up. And it's this control panel is turning on. And in front of you, you see, even though you may not understand it, it says US CSS Montero.
Stop it. Oh,
And as he does that, he stands up. And he's like, come with me. And he goes into that door that was behind him. And the door opens up and he walks behind it. Do you guys follow? What do you guys say? Do?
I look to Cuts and start to slowly step forward and kind of peek through the. Is he extremely tall? Is he our size? Is he just like normal human? I'm like imagining something otherworldly human, but just
Yeah,
just
so
normal
he's
size.
he's a very tall human.
Okay.
He seems extremely out of place in the Mork world. Like
Got it. Yeah.
where everyone in Mork is, I mean, after the first misery that has taken effect, is like all wet.
Yeah.
You know, like and dirty and like
Yeah.
gummy. He's very clean. Like
Got it.
nothing has touched him.
Clean, straight, just
Millennia.
good.
Yeah, like his attire, he's wearing a vest, dressed in like white button down shirt, which white like doesn't exist anymore, right? Like in your world.
No.
Right.
Right. He's very clean pressed. Like
Okay. I follow. Following.
sweet.
I hesitantly follow too.
Perfect. So you guys walk behind him, and as you walk into this room that he takes you into, you find there's 3 beds in this room, and in the beds there's a body of Cyrus, of Marlin, and of Cut.
Whoa.
What?
Yeah.
What is this? What sorcery is this?
And so Philip turns around and he says, I promised you more than just your good friend Cyrus. And he disappears from your visual and appears behind both of you. And you hear his voice only in your ears say, the devil never lies.
God damn it.
And he grabs the back of both your heads. Fade to black.
Oh my gosh. What just happened? Like, what?
And so
I have so many goddamn questions.
I have so many questions too. I mean, like this guy, obviously, the you know, like I think I know, but I don't. Like,
yeah, but hold on, it's not done.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
okay,
sorry.
okay.
I thought that was it. Sorry.
No, you're good. And so you both open your eyes,
Okay.
and Klutz, and Cuts and Marlin, you're both lying in bed in this chamber that you've never seen before. And you wake up. Cyrus also wakes up.
Oh my gosh.
And in front of you, there's a man who he looks familiar. And he looks at Marlin and Cuts and says, "Glad to see you've awakened." And he touches like your toes, and immediately all that transpired gets sent back into you. And
Okay.
now, Marlin and Cuts, you remember everything that's happened since you woke up last. He says, and so Philip looks at you and says, he taps your foot, kind of like a paternity love, just taps it and says, "I'll leave you here to recover. Perhaps I'll see you in Grift." And he kind of walks into the chamber, and you smell that sulfur smell again, and he disappears.
Jeez.
That was heavy.
I have no words. Yeah. Nothing.
I'm like, I was already tired. That really like drained me.
yeah.
That
I'm
drained
like,
me.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's good.
yeah, it was a good drain. I'm like, damn. Yeah, that's gonna be
My choice of picture was fitting, but anyway.
very. It was extremely
100%
fitting. It was like the straight up devil in our game. Jeez, devil with his spaceship and slight tie-in to Alien. I don't know what.
Yes.
It would be so interesting.
Yeah, so I'll give some spoilers out because you didn't explore the full castle again.
Sure.
So I wish you guys had, you know how you guys last session explored every room?
Yeah,
I wish you guys had done
again.
that this room, but you ran right into like the meat of the
The
matter,
main,
which is fine.
We just happened to, yeah.
Yeah.
we
So
were like that cathedral.
yeah.
So
it-
is the
it-
church a ship?
yes.
It means that whole place is a ship. Yeah.
Yes. So had you explored more, you would have gotten more of like the lore behind it, and
Got it.
it's kind of impossible to tie it in now. So I'll just spoil it for you guys.
Sure.
So the USCSS Montero is a ship from Malcolm's game,
Yes.
an alien game, and it crash landed in the Morgborg world.
Got
And so
it.
in different rooms, you would have found scenes, right, with those air pocket bubbles of like how the ship crashed
Interesting.
in the world. Which remember I told you guys the ship looked like a metal tower.
Yes,
And it was
yes,
at an
you
angle.
did. You did say that.
It was
I
at
do
a
remember
at a,
that.
it was at an angle, which is like the crash into the earth, and there was like this
Got it.
like
That makes a lot more sense. And they've been living in this. They pretty much just been living in this ship. Because I literally just forgot the fact that it was all metallic. Like
Yes.
after the last game, I
Yeah.
did remove
like,
that from.
if you remember like the stairways, it's a ladder, it's not stairs because it's a spaceship.
Got it. Because it's a goddamn spaceship. Oh wow! I have to retcon everything that I saw in my brain for like 2 episodes. Like,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
yeah,
So-
it's like so mind fucking.
That's
like,
intense.
So
it's-
yeah, I went through your Malcolm. I went through your YouTube alien videos, and I was
Uh-huh.
like, I'm just taking fucking notes. Like, you didn't explore the rooms because I had like all your characters' names, like they were gonna come back. Like you would
Oh,
see all the
shit.
characters in it.
So
This
was-
song that was playing. Hold on, I don't think I'm sharing. Do you hear the song?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's been playing the whole time. So
Yep.
in your alien video, you played the song "Long Tall Sally."
Yes.
This is a cover of.
Yeah. Who's doing this cover?
This is a guy named Tyler Hilton. I don't know who he is. I
Wait,
just
in the Alien video, I played Long Tall. Yeah.
Long
I
Tall
think
Sally. Yep, you played this version.
Yes, because it's used in
Old school.
because it's used in Predator.
Yep.
Okay,
Yes,
got
it
it.
is.
Yeah. Okay, and I used it when they
So-
were dropping into the planet. Okay, got it. So many things make sense now. Okay.
This
Yeah.
so honestly, this is a love song to Malcolm and everything you've done at the end of your experience.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
That was
so
cool.
this was called
That's
the
very-
flip because it was flipping one. I always I've told Malcolm before, when I do a Mork board game, I pick a word and like I try to incorporate that into different things in the game. So the flip one, from a real estate perspective, you guys are flipping property, right? You guys are taking
Got
over.
it. Yes. So take that. That's I got that early on. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, we gotta flip this. We're gonna get this place.
Yeah. So I made that a thing. And then there was a room with no gravity, so you guys would have experienced the flip that way.
Got it.
And then the
Okay.
flip, because this is just not your world
Got it.
or the world you think it is.
So now we don't know. Like, are we? I mean, this is like meta. Like, so is this guy Philip a android or? But actually, no, he's just clearly the devil. So it's just so it's still a mind fuck because it's like the devil in a point where the alien world meets, and like because for a second I was like, are they engineers from Alien? But then I was like, no, it's US CSS Montero, so that means it has to be a humanoid vessel. It's just it had my after that point I couldn't even be Marlon anymore because I was like I'm done. I don't know what to think.
It was hard.
I was like,
Malcolm, that's how I know your game got to be every. It's like it was difficult for me to play cuts.
yeah, I was like yeah,
and I'm like, oh, you really put me in a bind here.
Yeah.
And like my real humanity and cuts and
we're at war.
we're just at war. I mean, it was like, and that's good though. That's what
it was good.
I
was
mean,
good.
some people say don't do that. And I'm like, no, you should do that.
No, that
That's
was
the
cool.
point of the game, and
That was fun.
You know,
Oh man, that's
yeah, that was
Very-
very good.
And-
So
and so
who's the nun?
super creative.
The nun, Janan was just added in because I always wanted to add her in, but I only wanted to make her a villain if someone slept with the prostitute.
Okay, got it. So she was.
So
She
she's
was
just a
only-
fanatical.
She was just if no one had slept with the prostitute, she would just open the door for you to continue on, not be.
I see. And then she comes out and judges me.
She would come out, smell you guys. There was no sin.
And
right?
then, yeah.
and move on.
So creepy.
What's so funny with all the murder that we've done, she just smells the sex. That's the that's just the one thing she smells. All right, well.
Yeah. When you bit on that at the beginning,
I was like, I'm
last
gonna
episode,
get it.
and you were like, I'm gonna sleep with her. Something bad's gonna happen, and I was like, something bad will happen, but not now.
Not now.
Way
Oh man, that was a crazy episode. Yeah, but it was extremely taxing, but it was good. It was just like, oh my god, what is about to happen here?
That acid theme was hard for me.
That was rough. That
was great.
It was one of those moments. I was like, I'm gonna saw a movie. Is like Marlon is not. He's not there yet. He's not about to just. There's no self-sacrifice in these characters
No,
that I'm
that's-
playing. Like, had I been playing, there's multiple D&D players that have been like, I'm going in there. It's like
Exactly.
I was like, no.
I know, and that was that part that took more like, and I'm like, no, Cuts is definitely not there. I mean, he's got screw looses and but I'm like this. I kept saying to myself, this isn't Colvin. They all sound like this isn't, it's not. Yeah.
But I love the fact that I counted down. I put my timer on 5 minutes, and I was
That was
waiting,
great. It was like
and I was
No.
watching you guys like deliberate, and it was great how you guys at no point were you guys seriously considering it, but you considered it enough. Like,
yeah.
It felt more real. Yes, it did. Yeah. Like
It was sad because it was like I was literally like knew that we were letting that timer run out, and we were just like, what do we do while we let this happen? And then and almost like between each other trying to figure out if one of us might do something, heroic.
Yep.
Like
Yeah. It was beautiful. I as a DM, it was like amazing to watch that like just happen, like unfold, because it was like you were. Again, it's like that thing where like I'm true to my character, but I'm an asshole. But like it makes sense here, right? Like you guys are being true to yourselves, but not being assholes, but being the survivors that
Just
you are.
the survivors, just trying to.
It was great. It was awesome to watch.
But I also felt like it showed like as messed up as they are, there's still this. They don't like it,
Yeah, they don't like that they have to be this way.
But they're too selfish and cowardly, unfortunately.
Yep. Pretty much.
And so it's not like they're apathetic. Like
Yeah.
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 It's a good mix. I like it.
This was great. I loved it. Thank
It
you
was
guys.
great. Yeah,
Thanks,
thank
man.
you.
Yeah, it was good. Thanks for running tonight. Thanks. I definitely needed it. It was good. It was good.
You guys,
Well,
but
I,
you guys sound
I'll like Renee say, I'll sleep like a baby after I. It's as dark as it is. Maybe that's what it is about Mork work. It drains me. So I have nothing left. So when I'm like, when the game's over, I just, you just go crash, right? Like, whereas I think like Jason, it like alarms. He's like, I gotta go watch like cartoons and some shit to get the images out of my head. I'm like, oh, okay. No, just like I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah, I can. That definitely would have messed with Jason. That's for sure.
Yeah. Are you speaking of? Are you gonna play Fenris for the Suitor game? Eric,
When's that?
it's in
2 weeks.
weeks.
Yeah, I think 2 weeks. Yeah.
It's more. Yeah, it's pretty much picking up where we left off from Suckle.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
That one.
that was so awful. Oh man.
Let's see.
I don't have that character sheet at all, but
I know we might have to like make new.
I'll make a new character. I don't
I
care.
have Fenris's sheet.
Yeah. But then I think
Okay.
what isn't it like
I'll put that in. Yeah.
you and Jason, I gotta go look at my notes because like you guys got like blessed like the special
Yeah,
powers.
we got like fins. We got fins.
Yeah, they can swim. Yeah, so
You're the DM, right?
yeah, I'm the DM on that one.
I want to call you Marlon now.
Yeah.
Marlon.
Oh, that should be a fun one. Yeah.
Well, Marlon was definitely, I think, the star of that one. Like, I think you had some moments to really shine.
Yeah, thanks,
Like,
man. Yeah,
I'm just getting more and more nuts.
I'm just a I try to play, but he's a what do you call? He's a face. He's technically
He is a face.
probably supposed to be like the charisma character, but in a Morg world, he's essentially I try to play him like he's pretty much just if he steps forward, there's a high chance that he sabotages it for the party. So he's supposed to be like like Guardians of the Galaxy, like what's his name, Star Lord, and kind of but he inadvertently like talks himself into more trouble than like he does.
Yeah.
He's a face for Mork.
Yeah. But he'll wait. He'll wait for the party to do stuff, and if they don't, then he'll just like go full Marlon.
Yeah, because I think you have the party's like best intentions at heart, but you're trying to edge something out for yourself too.
Exactly.
So like, kind of sometimes it doesn't work out.
No, yeah,
no.
Yep. Always trying to figure out what he can get for himself. So.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys caught that, and tell me if I didn't explain it clear enough. So
okay.
You both Marlon and Cuts, you guys were recreated bodies.
Yeah, I okay. So I was thinking something like that.
Okay.
So I was right. Okay, I was gonna ask. Okay.
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
So in the lore of what they were trying to do, what that automation was trying to do is he's trying to create bodies that can survive the apocalypse. And so he created clones, which is what you guys were. Cyrus didn't survive the cloning process, which is why he died. You guys did, but that's why I incorporated the stress aspect, because you're not fully human. You're just clones.
We've always been clones.
No.
Okay.
When you went to bed and you woke up in this vial.
Oh, we were cloned.
You were clones. Your original bodies, that's why Philip took your...
Oh, so the original bodies are in the ship.
Yes.
That's
the room he took you to when you guys walked into that room and found yourself.
And then, is Cuts a clone? Is this the second clone of Cuts? Or because what's up with the lady that brought him back in the first place? But
Cuts got brought back to life.
To life. Okay. So
this is his same body.
Yeah. So now, okay, this is gonna get crazy. Well, wait till Renee watches this one. What was this be? I don't even know what to tell you. Like, how did I go? Bruh, like, it's a doozy. Yeah, man. So good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, man. Oh, man.
How'd you guys like? Well, I mean,
I'm gonna go like 2 minutes, guys. May I go ahead?
No, I that panic aspect. I know it didn't really take place really until the end with Cuts at the end where he became cowardly.
Right.
I liked it. It gave me like a gauge of like where to take how to play the character based on how heightened I felt the fear was.
It forced there was tension, but it also forced me in a position where like I had to, well, like I said earlier, I had to this is how I'm feeling. Eric's feeling, but
Yep.
I gotta stay in character here. And,
Yeah.
I can't kind of like you said about that. I was like, I'm gonna do this D&D. I'm gonna do, it's just there's a time and a place for that. That's not what this is here.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It helped
I
me
liked
kind of
it.
channel that. I liked it.
It
I'm
helped me
down,
channel
I'm,
it. That's
I'm
the
down
right
to try it
expression.
again for
Yep.
sure.
Cool.
I liked it. The
Yeah,
insanity theme was fun again too.
Yeah.
That was
Nice.
fun.
That's so interesting. Okay, cool, man. Well, yeah, it was thank you again for it. And it was some really cool reveals and some really all out crazy, like, even like I still like, things that are gonna haunt me, or like the song and those people singing that goddamn song where they're cutting up pork but they're talking
Oh,
about
gosh.
cows. Like,
Yeah, what was up with
it just
that?
was awful. It just,
And
like, so now the clear liquid was from the cloning. Okay, I get
Yes.
that now. It's just like,
Yep.
oh my god.
Yeah. That makes total sense.
Yeah.
And so a lot of all the humans, all the servants were normal people. Your
Yeah.
cloning created like a negative aspect, but that's why
And we
you
were
hallucinated
seeing-
like these terrible things.
I knew we were
And
just
had
murdering
you gone
people.
into the latrine, had you gone into Tower 2 or Tower 1 rather, it would have been a lot of fun.
Okay.
Oh,
Had you
really?
guys gone in there, oh man, there were so many fun things in
I
there.
kept thinking about going to Tower 2 for sure, but then like it felt overly so supernatural. I was like, man, it's gotta be something going on in that like chapel, right? So it was just
Yeah.
like I was drawn to like try to figure that out. But it was still really cool. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun for sure.
Nice.
And I like how more board games can be they can be so many different things, right, from game to game. And I
Yeah.
think this was you proved that with this game, that it was still nightmarish, right? And
It was. There's moments I was terrified. I laughed a lot.
laughed.
I always
The fornicator thing.
Oh, it's so
Eric.
good. Like, this nut, man. I know. And Eric was like, I was trying not to be too. I was trying not to say some things are going to just be too much. Like,
yeah.
because I totally wanted to say some like awful things to that nun. I was like, I don't know, she's a nun, so the nun jokes
Yeah.
won't work.
I brought